All right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Mr. Johnny Siam. How you doing? Um, and yeah, it's I started out every day almost complaining about how hot it is. Uh, it's 90 degrees right now. It's 9:07 here in Bangkok. 69% humidity. 90 degrees, and it feels like 106 degrees. 106. Winds southeast 7 miles an hour. Visibility is 6 miles. The baht is 31.3 to the dollar, and the air quality is quite good. But nevertheless, it's a hot one. Good morning, everybody. So today we're going to talk about taking a little vacation over here because I am beyond frustrated. I'm beyond irritated. I'm beyond tired. I'm just at the point now. You just, as Mr. Longhorn said, uh, he'd rather be here the way that things are than be back in the U.S. And that's how I feel. So I do feel lucky that I'm here. However, we're waiting to see May 17th. Today's May 13th. May 17th is the day when they may release or loosen up the restrictions a little bit. I don't see them doing it, to be honest. Uh, but it sure would be nice if they would open up the restaurants, because that's something. You go to the mall and it's like, you go to the grocery, you just go to the grocery and you come home, or you go out to a grocery store and then you come home. Where are you going to go? You can't sit in a coffee shop. What are you going to do? You're going to go to some guy's little hardware store and sit there with him and shoot the shit? I mean, you can, but so my point is that it's not the greatest of times right now here, but it's still good enough, and hopefully things will clear up. But today we're going to have on Soy Dog Cowboy and Chuck E. Cheese, Bum Gun Chuck, Chubby Nick Nolte. Lori won't be with us; she's busy. But I'm wondering. I've been talking to people, and I've been like, I wouldn't come here now. I just wouldn't do it. Not at the moment. Now, for the United States, in the United States, let me see if I can enlarge this here because my eyes are getting worse by the minute. On April 29th, 2021, the Royal Thai government has announced the new regulation elevating the quarantine period to 14 days for all travelers entering Thailand, regardless of nationality and vaccination status. And not only that, so this is for Americans. Now, it may be different for others, but I don't know. I don't think Australians can even come over here. Or Brits, for that matter, really, unless they want to pay a fine. However, there are places that if you are a foreigner and you are tested and you have a negative COVID test, or rather you are positive, but you have you're asymptomatic, and they decide to put you in a field hospital or a hospital or whatever, you got to go into the hospital. That's for 14 days. And then, just to be safe, they want you to quarantine for another 14 days in your hotel room or your apartment or whatever it may be. So that's 28 days. Now, it's, is it the end of the world? No. I mean, really, a year, figure, even if it was a year in jail is a lot worse than a year locked down. You should be able to do it standing on your head, so to speak. The quarantine. Some people, obviously, they won't be able to do the jail time, or they will, and they'll just end up going nuts. But, um, it's up and down. But man, you got freedom here. You still have freedom. You can walk around. Um, so I don't want to complain too much. However, I wouldn't come in now. So what's going to happen when things open up a little bit? And that's what I want to talk to Chucky and Soy Dog Cowboy about. But um, yeah, that's what I want to talk to them about and talk to everybody else about, because I think that Thailand underestimates their tourists. It's just my opinion, but I think they're underestimating them. I think there's a lot of tourists that are like, we're not going to come. And there's a lot of people now going, why would we come there when they don't have, things are not, it's like going to India, except on a much smaller scale. Do you really want to go to India right now? I don't want to. So why would you go to Thailand? Pussy? I mean, doesn't make sense to me. You can get pussy back home. You can get pussy elsewhere, and you don't have to go through the hassles. But let me continue with this thing here. You still need the certificate of entry. Let's see. So travelers who receive a certificate of entry before May 1st will be quarantined 7, 10, or 14 days, depending on vaccination records. Those arriving in Thailand from May 6 onwards must be quarantined for no less than 14 days. So that's right from the embassy in the United States, the DC embassy, from their website. It's just a hassle. It's a hassle to do much of nothing. Now, like I've said before, if you got a wife here, you got a girlfriend you can hang out with, and let me tell you, it's nice to be able to go out and be able to run around a little bit because, listen, I spend a lot of time with my wife. But it's nice to have your private time, your own time, and I get that by coming here, streaming in my own room, in our bedroom, basically, which she doesn't come into most of the time when she's working. Um, she knows better. Hi, folks. Why waste your time? Because if you plan 30-day vacation, you would only get 2 weeks to vacation to enjoy it, and that's basically if you are not found to have, if you're not found to be positive and asymptomatic. And the other thing is the vaccinations here for guys like me. Supposedly it's going to happen. And so, it's not that it's really negative to come here, but like in the future, it's about what's gonna be necessary to get in. I do see that Chunky Nick Nolte is here. We're waiting for the Soy Dog. I hope Chunky Nick Nolte can sit still today and frame his face in the picture. Yes, he is framed properly. All right, let's bring in. He's flipping me off. Oh, I'm gonna have to turn the video off on his ass. All right, what's happening, Chucky?
Nothing.
Oh yeah, you wanted to get caught with those fingers up, huh? And the quarantine places aren't cheap. Yeah, that's true. And you got to remember something. There's some places that they're going to tell you need the app on. I don't even remember what all the apps are, but you'll get an app. Uh, you'll have to put an app on your phone, and they'll have to be able to track you. And if you are found to be outside of your uh, prescribed area, and then you happen to give the virus to somebody, you are screwed. They may fine you, they may jail you, they may throw you out of the country, but I mean, it's just basically a waste. So why go through all that shit? Now, Chucky is the avid traveler. Now, I've given
I
you
won't go through all that stuff. No
I
way.
understand. When you went to Mexico, you didn't go through all that shit.
No, it was easy.
Okay. What were you required to have? A negative test or just vaccination?
To leave the USA and to enter Mexico, I needed nothing.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, what about to get into the U.S.? You got to have a negative test result.
Yeah, you have to, and I got it at my hotel.
What about if you have if you're vaccinated? You still need the negative test result?
Yes. Yeah, okay. They didn't accept that. And what's interesting, though, is that when I checked in Mexico, they checked the COVID test. But when I arrived at immigration, they didn't even ask about it. Nothing.
Well, so now you're off to Europe. You're not going to come to Thailand. You want to go to Europe.
Yeah, because Greece just opened up. And in
Greece, is that what you said?
Mm-hmm. But also Greece. All of Europe is open, not all, but a lot of Europe is opening up in June. All you need is a vaccine card and you'll be able to get in. So, yeah, if the countries let me in, I go.
Mm-hmm. Well, part of the thing here is that in Phuket, they're supposed to open up on July 1st. And I've talked to several Thais. Yesterday, I spoke to several people, and they're all laughing. They're like, it's not going to happen. They don't think it's going to happen. And the reason is because, as I was telling you, Chuck, you can be vaccinated and come into Phuket, right? And then you think, oh, great, I'll be safe. Yeah, but what about all the people there? The way that the Thai government may be thinking is we don't have enough people quarantined. And so we're not going to allow foreigners to come in at this time until wait a minute, we don't have enough people vaccinated. That's what I meant to say. Enough locals vaccinated. And then if we let somebody in, those people are not safe. You're safe, but they're not safe. Now, you can say they might be safe, and who knows, they may be. But I think the way the Thai government is thinking is, like you said, they don't want any issues with the foreigners. And then, they don't want, there's going to, that they're going to blame somebody. And so I think it's important that they don't put themselves in a position where they're blaming foreigners more than they've already blamed them. And in some cases, it's warranted, like with the Burmese that came in. But, just wait until next year, people, unless you have family in Thailand. Yeah. Yeah, and that's the other thing. Imagine you come in, like, listen, I go over to the United States. I get vaccinated. I come back. I got my negative test. I come back in. Sir, you're positive. Oh, rubbish. I'm not positive. Yes, sir, you're positive. I have no symptoms. Yes, but you're going to have to go into quarantine. I just got vaccinated. I should be fine. There's no problem, blah, blah, blah. Sorry, go in. You got to pay. Also, imagine you come with, you bring your family. I'll give you this, okay? You come in with your family, right? Now, you've got somebody who, you got somebody like me who lives there. For instance, my mother and my sister and her kids come in. There's 4 people. Now, I want to go somewhere. We want to go somewhere. I don't know where we're going to go, but let's say that we decide to go somewhere. And it's me and my family. All right, are we back?
There you are. You were frozen.
Right. So what I was saying was let's say that we have my family comes over. It's 4 people, right? my mother, my sister, my sister's kids, right? 4 people. They come over. She brings her husband. It's 5 people. Now I go out with my wife and my 2 kids. That's 4 people. That's 9 people. 9 people is under the number of people that are supposed to be allowed to gather. It's supposed to be 20. However, as you have seen, if you've been watching the news, in Phuket, they arrested a group of 6 people because it was supposedly an illegal gathering. Now, all those people have to pay 6,000 baht. It's not a huge amount. It's $200, but still, it's $200. So there's all kinds of little things going on here. So, not to put everybody off from coming to Thailand, because I think in the long run, it's still going to be a good place to come. But right now is not the time. And if Chucky ain't coming and Longhorns ain't coming, wherever he is right now, I don't think really anybody should come, I mean, only the most hardcore people should probably come here. The
people
hardcore
that don't
core.
mind staying in their condo, apartment, or hotel room.
Well, that's the thing. They just want a little private time to themselves. They're hanging out, blah, blah, blah. Hello.
Hang out at the beach or something, or
What the fuck? What is this? Hang on a second, all right? I gotta see something. This is too funny. Well, go on. You take over there, Chucky.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit. Let's hear what you got to say.
For me, I'm not afraid of COVID. I'm afraid of nothing to do in Thailand. That's why I don't want to go.
Well, you probably should be a little. I would say you probably. Well, you're vaccinated, so I wouldn't be worried about the actual virus. You're froze up. Your eyes are like shut like this. You're all right now. It's a matter of being in a place where there's nothing to do, but also it's just the inconvenience. Everything is a little more inconvenient now.
Hang on a second. I need to check and make sure my Wi-Fi is on, not cellular.
Okay.
That's probably what's going on.
Well, no, it was mine too. So I've got my. I'm only using my ADSL right now. I've got it right into the router. There he goes. He's gone. Let's see here. What is this?
Am I on? Can you see me?
You're in the dark. Well, now you're in the light, and you don't need to turn it again.
Am I good?
But yeah, you're
Am I
good.
on? You can hear me.
You're
too?
on.
Okay, cool.
Jeez.
I should have really good signal now.
Okay, I'll let you know if you don't.
Okay.
Anyway, where were we? Let's get back to this now. Let me catch up here with the messages, because somehow I got behind here. Hey, it's just too much uncertainty to come right now in normal working class America. No way, Jose. Exactly. Hey, Johnny, you better, mate. Yeah, well, that's what I was wondering how you were, Johnny, but you didn't give me any feedback. But you were better before. I'm hoping that you're better now. All right, let me see something here. I'm looking for something real quick here, but let me see if I can find it. Oh my God. All right, I have to ask. Jesus Christ. I've got to ask about this name. Pathia Singles Man Guide to the Game. Okay. What's that? What is it that how are you gonna have a guide to the game right now? Right now there's no game, unfortunately. The only game is Tinder and online. That's about it. But anyway, first of all, listen, before I go any further, I got to say thank you to Mr. Bruce and also to Mr. Chucky. Got to give a big shout out to both of them. Even though I give Chucky a lot of shit, it's just what we do, or I do.
I give you shit too.
That's the reason why you get shit back. So there you go. But I will give you a shout out. And also Mr. Bruce, he's been rather quiet lately. Where's Mr. Longhorns right now? He's what is he doing? Watching Bonanza or something? How can you do that? We're talking about a trip to Thailand, and he doesn't want to be involved today. He doesn't want to be involved when it comes to talking about the COVID because it's negative and it's depressing. But I told myself the other day, because this has got to me. It's irritating, it's frustrating, and all these other words that I've used, these adjectives. But the bottom line is that you're going to have to just be patient. You don't have a choice. So I looked at it and I went, I'll be patient. I'll give myself a little bit of time. There he is, Mr. Cowboy. I'll give myself time. Like I said, I'm going to give myself until, I'm going to say the end of the year, but I'm really going to say November 1st, I should be in a position where I know a hell of a lot more, and maybe even before then. And hopefully by then I'll have the jabs and things will start to loosen up. Now, let's see here. After the countries, given us 2 months before they change restrictions. I think it's going to be longer than 2 months. Honestly, I think they're going to have to go through a couple of different test batches of tourists. Oh, good, you're listening. All right, let's bring in Soy Dog Cowboy because he's here. We don't want to leave him out. Your lighting is fantastic, Soy Dog Cowboy.
Trying.
I'm joking.
I know.
That's right. All right. It's actually pretty good now. How you doing?
Not great. I got to be honest with you, Scott.
Really? Why not?
So today, what's been going on with me with the eye thing. I had these torn retinas, correct?
Right.
So I went for a follow-up that, I had the surgery in Florida before I came home to repair that, too late. And there was a whole bunch of other insanity that happened after that, which is not important to the story. But, I had a follow-up with an expert, a retinal expert here in New York. So I did that today, and he's taking a look at it, and he goes, hey, you got another tear in your eye.
Oh.
I'm like, what? And he goes, yeah, it's on the left side here and whatever. So I had to have that surgery today. They do it right there. It's a laser surgery. And they just
Right.
And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And so he says afterwards, I was smart. I didn't drive there. I took an Uber because I knew I would be dilated. I wouldn't be able to see anything.
Right.
And he says, okay, so, come back next week. We'll take a look, make sure everything's okay, but don't lift anything, don't do anything, don't read, because reading makes your eyes go back and forth, and you want this thing to heal up.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, there's not much left.
Yeah, you got nothing left that you can do now.
I know, and I'm even nervous about, doing this because I got to watch the screen. Does that mean?
Well, don't watch the letters. If anything comes up, I'll read it to you. You don't have to read.
Thank you. So it is it's what we talked about. Getting older, and things happen so suddenly. Like there's some things like if you go skiing and you break your leg or something like that. Well, it was an accident and it happens.
Right. It's acute.
Yeah, but this is just like oh yeah, your retina's torn. And he gives me this example of look, why does it happen? I'm trying to find out what's going on, because and he says, well, look, like a boxer, they'll have a lot of detached retinas and torn retinas. Right. And I said, that's great. I'm not boxing. Like I get it if it happens to a boxer, but it's not me, So
yeah.
It just is.
But maybe that's something in your body. That's one of the weaknesses in your body. Everybody's got strong points and weak points, and I think that maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean, it is that, the two main reasons why people can get a detached retina or torn retina, I should say, is you're over 50, you're nearsighted, which I am both, and
you can't do anything about those though.
Right, exactly, and genetics. So the point is that what I'm saying is that getting older here, things just, one day you're, walking down the street, and next thing you know, you're on a hospital bed because, you got something that popped out of nowhere. And you're like, what is going on?
Yeah, but you remember when I had my gallbladder surgery? Before that, I was in the gym, and I got into the best shape that I'd been in a couple of years. I felt really good. I was starting to feel better, and then I came back, and the next thing I know, I got a pain. I got to go in. And that just happened like that.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it just happens. But that's and that's something that it's taken me a while to get over. It's taken me, it took me 2 years before now I don't really feel any problems. But man, I felt problems for quite some time.
Have you ever gotten to take that test you were supposed to take to find out your numbers? And remember, they were supposed to go back and we want to check your numbers, make sure everything.
I went once, and then they told me to come back again. I didn't go back. I got to go in for a full checkup soon.
Typical guy. I've
been putting it off and putting it off.
Well, that's so typical guy. For some reason, we don't like going to doctors like women do.
Well, I don't like going to doctors, and I'm cheap. Because I look at it and I go, fuck, I got to spend 20,000 baht. And then I'm like, I'm fine, But I know I need to go in, and I have the money. I can go and do it, but I just don't want to go in right now. Especially right now. I don't want to go in hospitals.
No. Right now is not a good time. You're right.
But, I was going to say something. I was going to say something because, Chucky brought up this, this idea of doing the stream for the planning your trip or, planning a trip to Thailand. And I was talking to my buddy the other day, and I guess yesterday, and he was pissed because the yellow went away. What are you talking about? Oh, the yellow of my face. Yeah. But anyway, he was talking about how he may have to go back to the United States. He's in a position now where he's working for a company. He has a work permit and everything. He's all legit. However, he's going to have to get his retirement visa because the place that he's working for doesn't want him. They basically are closing up shop, and he's just going to be working. He can basically work from anywhere. It can be in Thailand, Cambodia, the United States, whatever. So, his mother's getting a little bit older. And so, she wants him to come home, and he doesn't really want to come home. He's got a nice new place. He's very comfortable. He doesn't want to go home. Then he started asking me, well, what do I need to come back? If I go to the U.S. for, say, 3 months and then I come back, I said, well, the big thing is that you got to have the COVID insurance. And if your medical insurance doesn't cover it to $100,000, then you got to buy a separate policy. And that policy for a year is about $1,200. So then I know he doesn't want to pay that, but he's got medical insurance through his company. I don't know how long it lasts, a few months after he stops working for the company. And then he's going to have to buy his medical insurance. He doesn't want to pay the money for medical insurance that's going to cover the COVID up to $100,000. So he basically is going to get medical insurance, an inexpensive medical insurance that covers him for retirement here. And he's also going to get COVID insurance. That's what it means to get in here. You got to have the COVID insurance. That's the other thing. So, Chucky, you got insurance, right?
I have my own insurance, but it doesn't work.
That's
in
what I'm
other
talking
countries.
about. You have insurance, medical insurance.
Yeah, I do.
And what's the company?
Blue Shield, PPO.
It's Blue Shield in the U.S.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So it'll probably cover you for the COVID just on your medical insurance will cover it because
It
you know some
covers
of
me
the,
for emergencies like heart attack, car accident. You know,
I understand,
I don't know
but
about COVID.
well, yeah, you should check whenever you come over here if they still have that. You should check because if you don't have it, you'll need it. That's the other thing. A lot of people don't want to. They don't want to. Let's say that they release that you get vaccinated. They go, okay, you're vaccinated. You come right in. Yeah. Uh, But you still need to have the insurance in case something happens. You don't
No,
have
I don't need to
medical
have
insurance.
it. I can just pay for it.
That's not okay, Chucky. They want to see that paper that says you have insurance.
Oh, okay. Well, no, if they require it, then I will.
Yeah, you have to, and it's $1,200. It's $100 a month for like a year. It's a little bit less. You may be able to find it for about $1,000, maybe $1,150, something like that. But
Yeah, I recommend doing the AXA one just because they put your information directly into the immigration computer system.
Mm-hmm.
So when you arrive, they see it right there. You know.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah. Well.
So there's another reason if you're planning your trip to Thailand. You better have that insurance for now. And what I'm wondering is,
I probably won't go to Thailand until it goes back to normal.
well, normal in my book means they're not going to ask you. They're not going to ask you to have COVID insurance for $100,000.
I don't think that'll ever happen. I think
Might not.
I think the normal, because COVID's never going away. I think the normal is going to be no quarantine if you're vaccinated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but if they make everyone has to spend $1,200, they won't be able to get a tourist to come here.
Well,
Exactly.
they will.
I mean, to Thailand. I'm not.
No, they won't. How many people want to spend? Listen, let's say you're going to spend, some of the people who don't have as much money, they're young people. They spend $2,000 for an airline ticket and say 10 days in Thailand, right? Mm-hmm. Now you tell them you got to spend another. Well, it's not going to be. I'll tell you what. Maybe you're right. Because if they're going to come and let's say they're going to stay for 2 months, it's only going to be about $300.
Right.
So that's not too bad, but it adds. And then, of course, they're talking about adding another 300 baht, that's nothing, but 300 baht here, 300 baht there, 10 times more for the national park. This is what leads me to believe that nothing's going to happen until at least the end of the year. And
I don't mind waiting until the end of the year because I'll be in Europe, and
I don't know why you're going to Europe.
Because they're allowing me to go. Yeah.
So what? If they allow you to jump off a fucking bridge, would you do it?
Well, what would be the downside of going to Europe?
Dad.
Dying.
When things are open.
Being in a place where it's a huge pain in the ass, and I know how you are. You are not the kind of person who wants to be in a place where it's a huge pain in the ass.
It's not going to be a pain in the ass. Okay. It's opening.
So you're going to Greece and where else?
I'm going to Spain, Portugal, Greece, Albania, Montenegro, and probably some other places. I haven't finished my itinerary yet.
Have you checked on the requirements for all these places?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And
right now already Greece and Albania and Portugal are already accepting people with vaccine cards, and that's all you need.
And how are their numbers?
Already France. And UK we can go too. And France, it said it's coming soon. Before in June, it's coming.
Mm-hmm. Well, listen, I got to tell you, all of these things are flexible, meaning that it's
fluid.
Fluid. Thank you. That's what I was looking for. If the situation in India really gets out of control, which it already is, but I mean like to a point where it is, tens of thousands dying on a daily basis, and that starts to spread, people are going to shut their borders pretty quickly. And that's why this thing has to be handled globally, not just locally. I mean, I feel fortunate to have been fully vaccinated here in the States, but if other countries, like China and India, large population countries are out of control, and people are moving around on planes, that stuff is going to, come here again, and with new strains, so, countries will shut their borders again quickly if things get out of control.
Yeah, and then Chucky's stuck. What? I can't get out? Yeah, there's no planes right now. Okay, I'll just stay here. You shake your head. You shake your head because you've never been through that.
I think that, and if it was, it would be okay. I'll rent an apartment. That'd be great.
Let's add 300 baht. Let's add 300 baht for insurance for arrivals after it's mandatory to already have medical insurance for tourists. He's talking about to Thailand. When you think about the logic, just there is no such thing as logic. Greece has 18% vaccine coverage and a rising case count. There you go, Chucky.
No, but they opened up. They're open now.
Yeah, so what?
So what? They're open. I go. I don't get what you're saying. What your point is? I don't get it.
My point is this: just because you're vaccinated doesn't mean you won't go there and get stuck or have some kind of a problem there because of this
I didn't say that I'm guaranteeing that I won't get stuck. I didn't say that at all.
So it doesn't matter to you.
I'm okay with that. I can handle anything that comes up.
If you say so.
Whatever comes up, I can handle it.
If you say so.
If I got stuck in Europe for 3 months, that would be really kind of like a fantasy. If I got stuck in Europe for 6 months.
Honestly, I think you listen, I may think about the what ifs, and I think about it as if I like the saying goes, prepare for the worst, hope for the best. Right? Mm-hmm. I think you believe that the best is going to happen, but if something bad happens, everything will be okay. And I just don't, me and you don't think the same way. And it's not about the money or anything like that. I think of it as hassle.
No, but the thing is that I'm hopeful for the best, but I'm also prepared for the worst. I'm prepared.
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't know if anybody can prepare 100% for what's going on right now. That's my point. And it's not because you're uninformed. Wait a minute. It's not because you're uninformed. It's not because you have no idea what the fuck's going on or anything like that. It's nothing like that. It's just that, things change so often. How can you keep up with everything? I just think to plan a 10-country trip, it's a bit ambitious, in my opinion.
I'm an ambitious guy.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm gonna wish the best for you, Chucky. Really. I mean, I hope that everything goes smoothly. When are you going to come back to Thailand, though? When's your idea of when you're going to come back? Do you have any kind of idea? Any guesstimate?
I'll come back when there's a lot of people outside and people are going to bars and people are in the malls and when I can stay for a long period of time. So
well, people were in the
malls. I don't know when
mall.
that's going to be. So I don't know when that will be.
People have been in the malls for a long time here. And, you can still go to the malls. You just can't stay there and sit down there, which is, to me, it defeats the purpose.
Can you read that?
It says, an American in Bangkok.
It says Bangkok, right?
Bangkok. I have one of those actually.
Starbucks from.
I have the espresso one.
Put it up close and turn it around. I want to see it.
I haven't used it in a while though.
This was 520 baht in Thailand.
Crazy.
I know.
Oh,
so basically, they have the long-tail boat, the gates from the temple, the I don't know what that is, the Chao Phraya River taxi probably, and then all of this inlay you can't see in white, but that is.
We can see it.
Obviously the skyline here of temples and the Grand Palace, and they did a nice job. They have these.
Look, it's Mahanakhon Tower where the glass broke.
Yeah. Oh, Mahanakhon's glass.
No,
broke.
I'm joking.
I thought it was like
because of that Chinese bridge. I'll never go on one of those again.
Yeah, I will never either. But he was.
I won't go. I've been to Mahanakhon Tower. I've done it, and I won't do it again.
I agree.
I'll be damned. I am not going to go that way.
They did rescue it. Actually, it's funny. There's danger everywhere. Today, there was a video showing, I guess these people had rented a house in Malibu, right on the beach, and there must have been 20 people out on the deck, on the balcony that's overlooking the beach, and the whole thing collapsed, and all 20, fell right to the below. They were low enough, like no injuries, really. I mean, a couple of scrapes, but they had too many people on a deck, and the deck probably wasn't to code. And so, danger everywhere, Scott.
Yep. Longhorns, are you still going in June? I'm going somewhere this weekend. Really? Somewhere. Well, I could go somewhere this weekend too. I just don't feel like dealing with the bullshit. If by chance I have... if I'm asymptomatic and I have the virus, I don't want to deal with that bullshit. And, that's the thing. For me, I'd rather not deal with any bullshit from the government. Man, you do not want to mess around with the Thai government and all this shit. I mean, they may be good to you and you may be in a place where everything's great. But, man, I don't want to deal with that bullshit. You go hospital now. Come on. Turn on the ambulance, turns on the sirens. Let's go. And then it's like you're sitting there, and you don't know what's going on in there. They're taking you where they want you to go, not where you want to go.
That's correct. I mean, they have to find a space for you somewhere. You
might be sitting there in a cot next to fucking 100 other people. If they accept me, yes, I've told others that I'm not doing any more favors. I'm out mid-June. Well, I believe they will accept you, but
I know a few people that are there now that came in, even during the lockdown.
Yeah.
They arrived.
Right,
so
Niall, right? Niall and the other guy, the Ron guy.
Yeah, and another guy I know. So you can go. I mean, you can. And again, it really is a matter of how much bull you want to put up with.
Or are you okay just doing relatively little?
Right. If you
can go out, you can go out. Like if I want, I can go to Chinatown, but there's no restaurants open. I'll be getting food and it'll be takeout, or I'll be getting food off the street. So, I mean, to me, it's kind of like I can't even go anywhere. If I'm going to sit down, it's going to be, like on a curb somewhere or on a step, something like that. So, like, I've been to Chinatown 100 times. What do I want to go there for now? If you're somebody who's a tourist and you want to do something like that, okay, fine. But
right, I mean, that's the point, to differentiate between the tourist who wants to go to the Grand Palace and all the the different islands, etc., versus someone like us who would we just want to be in Thailand.
Exactly.
It's easier for us, obviously, because I don't need these things open. I don't even need the go-go's open or anything. You just you just want to be in Thailand for other reasons.
Yeah. But I just don't. I'll tell you what. I don't want to take and go through the hassle to go back to America. I don't want that right now. I don't like hassles. Who likes hassles? I don't like it. You're being asked, Chucky. What's that painting behind you?
Just some painting I bought.
Okay, some painting he bought. Greece case count 20.
I didn't paint it myself.
200. I didn't think that he just wanted to know what it was.
Oh, it's Italy. I just bought it somewhere a long time ago. It says Italy on it, but I'm sure it's not Italian. I just bought it.
Okay. Anyway, Greece has 228 cases per million. India has 280. Amtrak would be fun. Have at it, buddy.
This is me coming home today.
I don't know how the trains are.
Cool.
Wow. Yeah, you look like what's that guy? The guy in was it in the Blues Brothers?
Right, Ray Charles.
Yeah.
Well, I heard you've been dancing with another girl all over the neighborhood. Well, why didn't you ask me, baby?
All right. It hurt my ears already. Robin video the trip. Someone texted me. Chucky is an external optimist. It's eternal optimist. You are. And that's the thing.
Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to say. You are an eternal optimist, and I think right now is not the time to be the eternal optimist. Be positive, but don't be the eternal optimist, Chucky.
And guess what?
I don't mind that, actually. A little.
I do. Because it's not the reality, man. Let's face it. It's not reality.
He's going to make it.
The reality is you're going to have some problems doing what you're doing.
I make it my reality, and I deliver.
Oh, God.
Well, on my optimism in my life.
Chucky, you look a little thinner. Did you lose some weight?
I just worked out for the first time yesterday. I hope it made a difference.
He dropped 7 kilos.
One day.
I've lost 2 kilos.
Well, that's probably because you took a big shit.
It was so cool to be at the gym.
And you sweat.
I mean, it was totally normal. There were a lot of people in the gym. It was really cool. And I got a great price, too. I canceled it before, and I signed up again, and I only pay no down payment and only $29 a month. And I can cancel anytime, no contract.
Yeah, well, you still have to go.
Huh?
It's great you got a good deal, but you have to go all the time.
Well, I could keep paying without going if I wanted to, but hopefully
you could. But what's the point of that?
Yeah, so I'm happy about it.
Why come to Thailand if you're restricted to your room or only limited travel within the country? Because you have a wife and family here, because you have a girlfriend that, maybe, you guys live together and you've been out of the country doing something, you're working part-time, whatever. There are reasons to come back, but, it's not like I'm doing a whole lot. Today's big journey, I need to go to the grocery because there's some things that they don't carry online. And also now it's 2 to 3 days for delivery, as it has been recently, to get your groceries. And we need, we got some water. We just got a couple packs of water and stuff, but I want to have them deliver like 10 packs of water, which is, they're limiting you to 36 liters of water. You can't get more than 36 liters of water delivered. So you have to make it multiple trips if you want to get a large quantity of water delivered.
That would scare me in Thailand.
Huh?
That would scare me a little bit in Thailand. I don't want to drink the tap water.
Well, you just make sure you got water.
Yeah,
if everything was shut.
I don't think I've ever drank the tap water in Thailand. Never.
Do you brush your teeth with it?
Yes, but I don't swallow it. I mean, just, spit it out. It's not something I'm swallowing. I can't. I just, I don't know. I don't even know. Is it bad, the tap water in Thailand?
You're not supposed to, but it's not supposed to be real bad. And I'll tell you what you can do is, they have the hot water things usually in hotels and stuff like that.
Yeah,
just heat it up.
Yeah.
And then, you put it in a jug or whatever, and it's fine. Most of the time.
Absolutely. There's lots of ways to do it. I wonder what makes a country like Thailand, like their tap water not good to drink. Like, what is it particularly? Is it they don't have the right filtration systems? They don't, what is it? Like, why?
Maybe it's money.
Corruption.
What?
Corruption.
I was going to say money. The money goes into the wrong avenues.
Cutting corners.
You would think that, that's such a staple, to be able, New York has some of the best drinking water in the country, because it all comes from upstate New York, in these beautiful, aqueducts they have, and reservoirs, and they have a whole system that brings it down to here, and it's really good. It's very clean, and you take it for granted. But you would think Thailand, of all places, it's not would have.
Dude, it's think about something. If you think about Vietnam and the Vietnam War and being in the jungles of Vietnam, do you think about clean drinking water? I don't.
Well, no, but we're not in the jungles of Vietnam,
No, but you are in Thailand, and while there are some big cities, much of the country is forest and jungle. And there are beaches, of course, which is great, but that's what I'm saying is like, I don't know what reason it's not like you're in the Alps of France. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they have a great rainy season to fill up reservoirs, and then you need to treat that.
Listen, I saw a thing a long time ago about a guy who had this huge property in Texas. And what he did was he had those water tanks.
Yeah, not allowed.
Which we have, what?
I'll tell you a story after you're finished.
All right. We have one outside, okay? This guy had like 30 of them, something like that, just for his house. And, he had to get them all filled up or whatever first because he didn't want to wait. Then the rainwater, it would capture the rainwater. What the fuck are you doing? I'm not going to wear pants that don't fall down and show us your ass crack.
So I got to be careful.
Jesus Christ.
Got his Christmas tree up. My God, that's a little early.
He probably has never taken it down. Anyway, listen, Longhorns are saying if everything is still shut, then I'll save half each month until things open up because not everyone wants to go for tourism and bitches. Yeah.
So Scott,
what was I talking about?
The guy's rain barrels that he had.
Oh. So then he has another, I don't know how many. I don't know the quantity. But he has a lot of them. And some of them are for use for his house and some are for use so that he doesn't have to use he can use the rainwater for his fields. Okay? I mean, it's a huge endeavor. Once getting it set up, he has solar, he has everything else like that. But he lived right off of the rainwater in Texas. And I was like, how the hell does he do that? But people are doing it. Australia has one case per 25 million. We still have restrictions. Yeah, I don't get that.
So basically, what I was going to say is really interesting. And it's very few, but the question was, is it illegal to harvest rainwater? And in almost every case, no. But out of the 48 lower states, Colorado and Utah are the only states that regulate it, meaning you can't just catch the rainwater. And the rationale behind that is that when you are catching rainwater, you're basically preventing it from running down to other communities.
Fuck them.
I know it seems crazy, but
it's bullshit.
It goes, some states and towns may have regulations on the amount of rainwater you can harvest. Collection amount regulations are in place because any rainwater you harvest is rainwater that won't go into nearby streams, ponds, and other natural bodies of water, and that has the potential to disrupt the ecosystems.
Yeah, and so does capturing the rainwater or the water from ice runoff and from streams.
Yeah, but think about it.
And then they sell it. So you can't make money. They don't want you using it because maybe they can use it for other reasons.
Well, let's say that you had a big stream running through your property and you decide to dam it, right? That's going to affect everything downstream from there. And so it's an interesting concept. I understand why it's controversial too. So, but I just thought, as soon as you said that, I'm like, I wonder if that's legal.
Well, that like there was a guy in Florida that he was using solar, and that's all he used for his electricity.
I read, how crazy was that? And
they were going to like forcibly evict him from his own house because he didn't want to use the electric from the government. Which is
right. Really and I forget the rationale was something that, everyone
You have another fan, Chucky. Sorry. You have another fan. You have Richard and you have M. Maranta. They like you. So you're their big big daddy bear. Extreme. Every day is Christmas with Chucky. Yeah, Chucky, why do you have a Christmas tree in your place right now?
That's not a Christmas tree.
Sure in the hell looks like a little one.
It's not a Christmas tree.
What is it? Is it real?
No.
It's just some form of decoration. You know?
Yeah, it's a Christmas tree.
It's like
You get the real thing, Chucky. Don't get the plastic plants.
It's not a Christmas tree.
It doesn't matter. It's still plastic.
I'm telling you, it's a Christmas tree.
You got the green thumb. Oh, I know you're traveling too much. You can't take care of your cactus or whatever.
You know, I can't have any real plants.
I know. The Christmas tree is still up. I did grow up with rainwater. As about 12 years ago, I moved to a town with running water. Bullshit peddled by a government that you pay. Exactly. You're paying the fucking government. You help that government run, and they fuck you up the ass, and they tell you, oh, you can't even have the rain. You can't even capture some of the rain. So, in other words, if I wanted to be a prick, I could put all kinds of water jugs outside, cut the tops of them off, and capture, 100 jugs of water. And if they wanted, they could come and arrest me.
Yeah.
Or find me.
Yeah.
And then I'd tell them, fuck you. I'd get myself in trouble. I know that. Third world country.
That's
yeah,
not de-escalation.
Huh?
That's not de-escalation.
Who said anything about de-escalation?
I can't wait. I got some fun news. So tomorrow, I can't wait for this to make this phone call. Before I went down to Florida, Spectrum, which is my cable company here, and I don't have cable. All I have is the Wi-Fi from them, right? They raised my rate because originally I had, I guess it was an introductory package or whatever it is where they get you in there. And for 200 megabytes download, they were charging me $95 a month. And I'm like, guys, I said, that's crazy. I mean, I'm not getting anything but Wi-Fi. And they wouldn't lower it unless they wanted to sell me a package with cable or with telephone, which who the hell uses a telephone anymore, right? So, right. Then I went to Florida. I didn't have time to really make the changes because I had someone here, and they would. So I said, all right, I'll wait. So I got home. I called up Verizon Fios, which is fiber optic, and for 300 megabytes, not 200, I'm getting it for $35. So from 95 to 35, I just can't wait to call Spectrum tomorrow because they're going to do such a song and dance trying to get.
They're going to tell you, you're not allowed to cancel.
Oh no, I don't have a contract, but they will say, oh, we'll give you that, and I'm like, too late, pricks. You had your opportunity. Of course, when Fios decides to raise my rates crazy, then I'll call Spectrum back, and and that's what competition's supposed to be, right? When you have more than one choice. It's so ridiculous though what they charge you.
What is this?
Hey, so Soy Dog, where do you live in New York?
Well, I have two places, as you know. I have a place in Brooklyn where I rent out. I have a renter in there. And then I also have a place in the Rockaways.
Where's that?
It's right on the beach. It's Queens.
Oh, okay. I have a question for you about Manhattan. I've heard rumors that a lot of people are leaving and the prices went down. Is that true? Like if I wanted to buy really small, like a really small condo, did they go down in price?
So here's what's happening lately. The rents have dropped like a rock. Man, it's unbelievable how significantly down they are. They're still expensive relative to the rest of the country, of course, but they are down by like 40%, which is a lot. However, the condo market and the co-op market, most buildings here are co-ops, unless they're newer construction. Those prices, they had dropped at the beginning of the pandemic, and now they have started to climb significantly because there's such demand. Now that may be because the prices did drop, and so it allowed people to get in. But so you're not going to really get a great bargain necessarily with a buying here. New York City, even in its worst times, never really drops more than 10%. Like during the housing crash, when everyone went bankrupt, my condo dropped about 10% in price, and then it recovered quickly. So, Um, uh, but yeah, the story of people leaving New York is overblown. It makes for a fun story, like every story that you see on the news.
I thought that you were going to tell me that. So
yeah, it's people with this whole remote working, they certainly can do it anywhere, and I think that people, if you can work anywhere, it's cheaper to work elsewhere. But as soon as New York reopens completely, which will be September, we're open now for the most part, but like theater, really, you have to look at what the theater is doing, because that's the hub of tourism, and it brings everyone in. Theaters are going to be at full capacity September 10th, I believe. And that is sort of like the finish line, if you want to look at it as anything. Look, Patty Bob is saying, fiber optic, 1 gigabyte, 600 baht a month. It's like the internet. The one great thing about Thailand, honestly, is they have the cheapest damn internet. It's amazing. I love that. But for New York, $35 a month is a steal.
You know what? I got 1 gig up and 1 gig down.
Wow.
Okay, which is I couldn't believe it when they offered it, and it's 747 baht. So it's about $23-24, something like that.
Right. This is unlimited. When you get Wi-Fi here,
this is unlimited too.
Yeah.
They don't say you're limited to a certain amount. Now they do that with your phone,
right?
At least sometimes. But they've been having some fantastic specials on AIS where if you're prepaid, you can get like 100 gigabytes for like anywhere from 15 to 90 baht. Now 100 gigabytes. That'll do me about 100 hours of streams. That's a hell of a lot because I can't do that much, But so, the Thai internet is very reasonable and, can't complain about that. And the quality of it is pretty good most of the time.
Absolutely. So kudos to Thailand.
Kudos, Thailand.
For that.
Come on down.
Asia, most internet service in Asia in general is very good.
Hong Kong's fantastic.
Well, they're on another level.
Singapore is very good.
Japan is incredible.
I was surprised that Myanmar and Cambodia, they were actually good.
It's funny. I remember reading decades ago about, most people like in Myanmar or Vietnam, they don't have landlines. So they were like, cell phones were like the big thing. And they really, the government said, we're going to do this in a robust way. Here in the States, fiber optic is the way to go for increased speeds, but it's not in the interest of these companies to upgrade everything because they're making so much money the old way. And that's really where it comes down to. It's like where's the balance between, hey, we don't want to upset the apple cart, so to speak, and say, we're making a ton of money with the way things are. We don't really need to upgrade to the faster stuff. And then, slowly it starts to happen and it'll change, because I know that Google, I think in Atlanta, had laid some of their cable down, fiber optic or whatever they were using, and the speeds were insane. Like 1,000, megabyte downloads, versus, what I get here, 300. I mean, it was great. So, but of course, you have to know that your equipment has to be able to handle it too. Like just because something offers you, 200 megabytes of download speed, like I have an Amazon Fire Stick, and that only takes so much download speed can handle. So it doesn't matter if you have 1,000 or 800. It doesn't make a difference because the device that you're using can't handle it. But anyway, it's nice to say something nice about Thailand's infrastructure. So they're
well, there's a lot of nice things to say about Thailand, and infrastructure is one of the positives here.
One of the reasons why I love Thailand so much is because it's constantly improving at a very rapid pace in many categories.
Yeah, and that's what causes the prices to go up. But yeah.
But the prices are not that high. I mean, they're really low to me.
Well, again, it depends.
Get the fuck out of here, Chuck.
They are low.
Seriously, you think about it. No, wait a minute. Stop. I gotta call you on this one. How long you been coming to Thailand?
22 years.
22 years. Okay. So when you first started coming over here, how much did a meal cost you? And how much does it cost now?
About 150 baht.
Before?
Before 150.
And what about now?
250. 220.
Again, it depends on where you go. That's the thing. Look, this mug from Starbucks, as I said, was 500 and something baht. It's cheaper in the States. You get anything imported, which is, if you're living here, you go to a Villa Mart and you want food, it's going to be more expensive than the States. You want a car.
Some of the stuff, yeah, definitely.
I agree. There are things that are more expensive.
Jesus, my God, I cannot believe how expensive cars are in Thailand.
That's why everybody has motorcycles.
Yeah, it is.
And I keep thinking about, God, maybe I should get a motorcycle. And I just tell myself, nah, I don't need one. If I'm not living out on some island or some little village, I don't really need one.
Yeah, a scooter. When you move, and then when you move out to the village, you get a scooter. You don't have to worry about, gear changing on hill. Just easier. Everyone has them. You get these Honda, 150 cc's. I get the PCX 150 is a great bike, and
I like that one. It's a Yamaha.
Yeah,
it's the Fino.
Yeah, it's very, very popular.
Yamaha Fino. It's not as popular as like the Honda Dream or something, but man, what a great looking bike, and it's strong, and you don't want some piece of shit that can't get you out of the way. So you see a car's coming and you go, oh, I'm gonna gun it, and then you gun it and you're like, uh-oh, I'm dead.
Yeah, you want the at least 150 cc, and most of those bikes have that now. They're 150. There are a bunch of still at 125.
Well, they're available,
but the 150. The 150 ones are, they give you the pep you need to.
Thank you for not showing your ass crack, Chuck.
That's right.
Although I tell you, every time today or yesterday, I was driving in my neighborhood and I noticed all of these potholes everywhere. And I'm like, God, can you imagine driving my motorcycle on this road right now? Because it's after the winter, so you have a ton of them. You don't see it coming, particularly if you're behind a car. So the car is blocking the pothole.
Yeah,
and then suddenly you're over it. And they're deep, and you'll kill yourself, Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Now, something I was thinking about is Chucky's going to Greece, and somebody else said, oh, their friend is going to Greece too. I think that's what they said. I can't remember if that was what it was. But I'm wondering, okay, so let's say that you don't come to Thailand in the next 6 months. Where's the next go-to place?
Well, I'm going to Patagonia if I can, which I should be.
I'm not really talking to you, Chuck.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No offense, but the reason I'm not talking about you is because we already know you're going to 10 different fucking places. I'm saying, if you're going to say, instead of going to Thailand because it's too difficult, I want to go fill in the blank.
The only thing I think really is optional is Europe and South America. I think Asia right now, I can't see anything on the horizon when it's going to be reasonable to go. I can't see it. Australia, I can't see anything on the horizon yet.
Well, you're not going to be going to Australia.
Yeah,
that's not going to
happen. I won't
be going. You probably won't be there next year. So
Yeah,
but that's off limits.
It's easy to go to Latin America. It's easy. Like right now, I can get on a plane and go to UK. They opened up. Right now, I can go to Spain. Spain opened their discos and bars. I can go to Spain. I can go to Portugal. I can go to Greece. Germany, no way. Germany is like way behind, and they're really strict. Germany is maybe almost as difficult as Australia. So there's places I can. Mexico, piece of cake. I just went there.
I'm looking at somewhere where no one talks about, and that's Africa. Um, which African countries are open to visitors? Angola. You just need a negative test. This is for British, but I'm going to assume it's for Americans as well. Angola is on the UK's red list, meaning any British national traveling from Angola to the UK will have to quarantine in a government hotel for 10 days. Botswana, Cape Verde, Comoros, Cote d'Ivoire, Djibouti, Egypt, Gabon, Ghana, uh, Guinea, Liberia. Let's go to Liberia, Chuck. You'll be tested for COVID-19 upon arrival. If you have any symptoms or test positive, you will be taken to a quarantine facility. You are strongly advised to get a test before arriving and present your test result at the border. The government of Liberia strongly recommends you isolate for 7 days and self-monitor for 14 days. You will need to take another test before leaving the country. Also, Mali and then Malawi, which it says flights are very limited. You just need a test, negative test. Mauritania, Mozambique. Haven't you been there, Chucky?
No.
My buddy's been there, and he liked it quite a bit. He loved it. It says they're only allowing travelers with a valid tourist or residency visa. Namibia, Nigeria, Reunion, Sao Tome and Principe, Sudan. If you are of Sudanese origin, you will be tested for COVID-19 on arrival. All other passengers will need a proof of negative test no older than 72 hours and will need to self-isolate on arrival. St. Helena, Tanzania has resumed international flights. So instead of going to Thailand, you can go to Tanzania. Zambia. Tourist visas are now available to Zambia, also Sierra Leone, Seychelles, Senegal, Rwanda, Tunisia. Hey, why not, Chucky? Why don't you go there instead of going to Europe? Take that after your trip to Europe.
I don't know. I'm focusing on Europe this time, and because Europe has developed. They're not doing as well as the USA, but Europe has given a lot of people vaccinations, a lot, and they're going to continue to do so. Mm-hmm. Right now, the USA, the state of California, 60% of all adults have been vaccinated, one shot or more. That's a lot.
That's fantastic, isn't it?
And that's why our cases.
It's fantastic, but they still don't think they're going to get the whole country to have both vaccinations. You don't need
the whole country.
Yeah, that was.
They don't think they're going to get to 70%, and they don't think they'll get that here either.
No, I think we'll get to 75%.
Yeah, well, and
I'm telling you what these so-called experts have said, Chucky. Chucky always has an opinion on what's going to happen and how many percent. It drives me fucking nuts. 37.8% are going to be vaccinated in the first 3 weeks, and then another 78.9% in the week after that, and then therefore we will reach the 81.2. How do you come up with all these numbers, Chucky?
I know 3 epidemiologists. 3 of them.
Yeah, so that tells you the exact percentages. I'm just telling you.
No, they don't.
Why did you always? When did you? I just want to know. Okay. When did you start? I'm giving you shit. When did you start guessing all these percentages like you do?
I've done that all my life.
Since when do you remember? Since you were a little lad, a little Chucky.
I'm very mathematical person, so I think I have a little bit of autism, and I think that I just know.
You're autistic.
I just know. I get all the information.
You know.
I'm not saying I'm right.
You think you know.
I'm telling you, I think I know. Yes, it's my opinion.
Okay, well, good for you. You have an opinion, and we all know what opinions are like.
It's my opinion, after talking to a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. So all the people in the United States, all the doctors and scientists who are saying it's unlikely that we will reach 70% in the United States because a lot of people they don't trust it, and therefore that's why they're giving beer and money and all these other kind of things to get people to take those vaccinations. So,
Number
you know
one,
something we don't know?
well, actually, a lot of those doctors in the news media say that so people will go vaccinate. And we're already at 60%. So we can make it to 70.
Hang on
We
a second.
can. I mean, we're 60% in California.
We don't care about California. Nobody cares about California except for people who live in California. And the only reason I give a shit about it is because I know I know about 5 people that live there, and you're one of them. So I don't want it falling in the ocean. But if you guys left, then I don't give a shit about California.
Well,
they want to become their own country.
The
Become
country
their own
that's
country.
doing the 2 countries that are doing the best are Emirates. Israel's number 1. Emirates is number 2. UK is number 3, and number 4 is California. So we're doing really well in vaccination.
All right.
But so is the USA. The USA is at 50%. That's really good.
According to AmericanProgress.org's reports, they say that as of May 5th, 32% of the total U.S. population, or more than 107 million people, have been fully vaccinated.
Well, that's the thing.
And 45% of the population has at least 1 dose. So it's not at 60% right now. Maybe in California.
California is 60%. I said that's the people that have 1 dose or more. Because to have protection, you don't need 2 doses. The UK purposely...
Then why did they give 2 doses then?
The UK purposely delayed the 2nd dose to get herd immunity.
But that's not what I'm asking you.
No.
Why is it they have 2 doses if you don't need?
Because the second dose is for longevity.
But you still need a booster every year.
Yeah, but you're still protected though. When you take that first
dose, a lawyer
dose,
would have a fucking field day with all this shit.
You are protected.
A lawyer would have a field day with this shit in court.
Well, everyone has a different opinion about it. So
I know, that's what I'm saying. And you know what opinions are like, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
Everything that everyone says on the planet is an opinion.
No, it's not true.
Well, not every single thing, but a lot is opinions.
Here we go again. What was the name of that song by Dolly Parton?
He'll come again.
Oh, here you come again. Wait a minute, hang on. Somebody was screaming outside. I'm like, what the fuck? They've dug up our driveway and our road in front of all the houses in our village. They have dug up and just left it there. A pathway about 18 inches wide, and I guess it's over the water lines. So it's just a bunch of rubble all the way down the village. And some areas it's packed a little bit so that it's not in the way because people have been driving over it. And in some areas it's just a mess. But it's going to be like that for another 1.5 years, I think, or 9 months rather, because they're supposedly upgrading our water lines here. So I'm hoping that they don't turn the water off for like a week and they're like, sorry, everybody's going to have to take a shit somewhere else outside the village, because that could happen here.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, so let's see here. Hang on. Let me see this. As of 6 a.m., May 11th, New Mexico has administered the highest percentage of COVID-19 vaccines it has received. Wow. Percentage of distributed vaccines that have been administered, 90.67. Hawaii is number 4. Where's California and New York? Wow. Florida's number 40.
Vermont, New Hampshire area is doing really well too.
Well, where is it? Must be. I must have missed it here. California and New York. California, number 29. New Hampshire, number 24. Yeah. Vermont, number 13. Anyway.
Where was New York?
What?
Where was New York in that?
What did I say? Let's see here. Can I find it? It's higher up, I think. Yeah, let me see here. New York. New York. New York State, number 8.
There you go. I wonder what New York to New York City like versus the whole state. You know,
what happened to Cuomo, by the way?
Nothing. You know, same shit. You know, things. You know, they
right,
go away.
Cuomo.
You know.
What did he say? He loves Cuomo?
I said, all right, Cuomo. He seems to have survived the cancel culture.
Well, fuck Cuomo. Fuck the Cuomos. And I said Cuomos. I didn't say something else. All right? Just so you know. All right, so anyway, you have no plans to come to Thailand right away, Soy Dog Cowboy. Do you have an alternate?
I mean, look,
you have an alternate country?
Do I have an alternate country? Yeah, I mean, well, yes and no. In all honesty, I mean, my alternate country would be Costa Rica. I've been there a few times. I do enjoy it there. So I could see it doing there. But the reality is if I can't go to Thailand this coming fall, I'm more than likely to Florida again. Because, you know, again, another opportunity to be with my parents and see my parents.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think I'll enjoy it a little bit more because I'll be vaccinated, you know, fully. I am now. And, you know, probably have a booster shot by the time I go down there, you know.
You get that eye taken care of.
Yeah, they'll probably take it out by then, you know.
Don't say that. That's
well, look, right now the eye's taken care of, you know. I just hopefully, you know, I have this floater that's blocking a lot of the vision on my left eye, but that's supposed to dissipate. So we'll see, you know, how that works out. But
Chucky must have had a floater a few minutes ago.
You know, and
Chucky, when are you gonna use a bum gun? Yeah, do any of the European countries you're going to have a bidet or spray nozzle?
I'll try it when I'm in Europe.
If you can find a place that has them.
Yeah, if I can find them. I will try. I promise. Just for you.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me. I'm just curious.
Do you want me to videotape it?
Hell no. It's bad enough. It's bad enough seeing your ass crack.
Well, notice how I'm really careful after that happened.
Yeah. Aren't we lucky?
I don't want to feel responsible for getting you kicked off YouTube.
And you should. Oh, wow. What happened? I lost all these messages just came shooting through here. Let's see here. Taiwan before the bomb started. Taiwan is nice, but I don't know. We've already close to 200 million have one shot. That's not what it reads. I don't know what it said. What did it say here? I don't know if I still have that page up. No, I don't. And I'm not going to go back and look for it. U.S. is 42%. That's what I just thought I read. Chucky Autistic, I think you could have Asperger's. Oh, God. Israel has flattened at 60% coverage, flying rockets right now. I don't care about all that shit. I can't, this is the thing. I can't get involved in all this. Minorities way behind in getting jabbed. Oh, yeah, okay. So now it's racist jabs? Is that what we're taking place? What is taking place? Everybody's racist who's administering the jabs? Or maybe it's just because they don't want to go and get the jab. I don't know, And I can't think about all that shit. This whole racism thing and all this, I know how I am, and thus I don't give a fuck about what goes on over there. I suggest everybody worry about themselves and try to be understanding of all colors and creeds and cultures and nationalities and
Sexual
what's the other one?
orientation, don't
Sexual
forget that.
proclivities and orientations and all that other kind of stuff.
And
You know,
also daddy bears too. Straight daddy bears too.
first dose gets you to about yeah, okay.
Scott, did your son give you the haircut, or did you do it solo?
Let me think here. I did it solo, and then I had actually Nicholas come in and just tell me, did I miss, is there a little spot missing or whatever? And so he would tell me, oh, it's right there. And I said, okay. And then I got it. And I'd say, everything okay? Yeah. Okay. So I did it mostly myself, just with a little bit of backup. But Alex was asleep or he was in school or something. I was, in a class or something. I don't know. USA has vaccinated those wanting. New York was last, but everyone left. So now number 8. I thought everybody left in California. Oh Jesus!
Last year, California lost 182,000 people. Its population went down 180.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, in the States, if you want the shot, you can get it. You can walk into any place right now without an appointment and get it. The only places that you need appointments for the most part are like pharmacies. But even there, they're like, yeah, we got it, extra, let's go. Like you can get the shot here if you want it. We have so much vaccine. It's great.
Yeah, we have a lot. And another thing you have to consider is you have to see things on the horizon. So you look at where America is today. Wait, you have to look at America right now is 50% of all adults are vaccinated. Okay. But what will it be 2 months from now? It's going to, I don't know. 2 months from now, we should realistically be able to take it from 50% to 65 to 70%, 72%. It just makes common sense. It's like,
see what I mean about the percentages?
No, but we're at
65 to 70%, maybe 72%.
2 months. Well, my question is,
you know what you remind me of, Chuck? A guy in Hong Kong who I'd say, hey, can you tell me where the shopping mall is? Oh, or no, can you tell me where the subway is? Yeah, you just walk over there 3 minutes and then take a right and walk for another 7 minutes and you'll be right there. And I go, so it's 10 minutes. Yeah, it's 10 minutes. And I always fuck with him and go, not 9. If I walk a little faster, it's going to be 8. If I walk slow, it's going to be 11. How do you know it's going to be 10 minutes exactly?
Right.
That's you with the percentage. What I'm saying Go ahead, I digress.
We are at 50%. So my question then would
be... We're not at 50%. We're at 42%.
No, we're 50% of adults. That's not counting the kids.
Where did you get that information?
I got it from many sources.
Like?
Many sources. CNN, many others.
Well, there you go.
Fox
CNN.
News, MSNBC.
I believe that.
Different sources. Many
right,
different
I'll believe you. I'll believe you, Chuck. Go ahead.
So if we're at 50% of adults vaccinated, right?
Yeah.
8 weeks from now, what will we be at? Can we only make it 52? No, we're going to do a hell of a lot better than that. Are we going to hit a plateau and we just can't squeeze more than 70%? I think the final number is going to be somewhere between 68 and 78, but I think 78 is too high. And
you just said 65 to 70, maybe 72. Now you're 68 to 78.
No, I'm saying at least 65.
Okay. As much as 78.
Pardon me? I think 78 is very, very difficult to hit.
Which is what the government's been saying. It's going to be 70% more than likely, and that's where I think it's going to be. Yeah. There's a lot of hesitancy to take it. For a myriad of reasons, whether it's from the anti-vax crowd to people, the minorities who had a distrust.
Yeah, I'm not hesitant to I'll take the fucking thing. Yeah, I really don't want the Chinese one.
Yeah, I don't blame you on that one. I think of the big three that are out there, from Pfizer to AstraZeneca, Moderna, and J&J. Those four.
Didn't J&J just have another problem?
Nah, they're fine. But it's just the efficacy isn't as good as the others. Get those if you can. I've recently had a few friends get COVID. One of them had the shot, but they got it like maybe 2 days after they got the shot. So because they were stupid and went for a massage, and this was in Canada. There wasn't, it's a normal massage, but he was having back problems, and I'm like, well, that was a mistake. I'm hoping people get it, but at this point, it's their choice, and let them take it or not. But that's where we're at right now. I think 70 is going to be the number, and really, if the whole world would be at 70, we'd be in a much, much better place. But I don't.
Yeah, that's really the goal. Is and another thing too is in UK and Emirates and Israel, when they hit 60% of adults,
toilet paper,
COVID just crashed, burned, and died. So really, 60% is what it takes to have them to like really crush this virus. Yeah. And LA is over 60%.
Don't say crush, please.
Well,
you remind me of Nancy Pelosi.
I'm not Nancy Pelosi.
I know, but you remind me of it because she fucking says that all the time. It's for the children. We got to do it for the children. We got to crush the virus. We got to crush the virus. Fucking old hat. I wish you could shut the fuck up already.
So, yes, looking at the numbers is important. It's also important to look at other countries that were ahead of us.
Longhorns. If more people die faster, we can reach 70% faster.
Israel is amazing. They're like really amazing what Israel did.
Well, they overpaid, and that's how they did it. And it's a smaller country, and it's smaller too. The population,
So for large countries, the USA is really the second best performer, or for a large country, it's the best performer. USA is kicking ass hardcore.
Yeah.
So,
but that doesn't help us in Thailand.
No, Thailand is way behind, but Thailand is ahead in the sense that the death rate per capita per million is really low. Thailand has not had much COVID or death, very low. So they've been successful at mitigation, very, very successful. But now the time has come.
116, what is it, 116 per million?
Yeah.
So
and USA is what, 700, 680? Belgium, the last time I checked, was the worst. I don't know how the others are doing.
I don't know. I don't want to look at it.
So Thailand's at what number?
What did I just say?
116?
I think I said that, yeah.
What's the USA at?
Let me see. Hang on. Thailand and US. Total accidents, total cases, deaths, or the deaths per
capita.
Well, that was test per million. Total cases for Thailand is 1,271 per million. 7 deaths. That's 7 deaths. That's 7 deaths per million.
And what's the USA?
The US is 1,797. And India is 186.
So India really is not doing very bad. The USA did really bad.
And
that's one of the reasons why we have a lot of herd immunity, is because there's so many people that got
Hungary. Hungary is 2,997 per million.
Wow, they're really bad. That really was really
horrible. North Macedonia, 2,473.
That's one of the countries I'm going to.
Macedonia.
But that makes me feel good because they have more, antibodies.
Mm. Yeah, what good is everybody getting vaccinated in the next year or two here in Thailand if the economy is basically kaput?
Well, it's to save lives, obviously. So
Yeah, this is the thing. The thing that with Thailand is that I don't think that anybody's paying the hospitals because they're racking up the numbers. Where in the United States, at least in the beginning, they were all about, hey, we need money, we need money, we need money. The more they have, you know.
Well, I believe in the death numbers of the USA. They might be off by 5%. It doesn't really matter if they're off.
How do you know it's 5%?
I'm just telling you.
See what I mean? Soy Dog Cowboy. Everything's about percentages.
I don't have absolute confidence in the USA, but I have 95% confidence. Okay. I got to give you an idea how confident I am.
Oh God! Hang on a second, Chuck. You got to do something for you real quick.
Yeah.
Hang on. Here we go. Let's change that. His new name is Mr. Percentage Chucky.
That's because I don't want people to think I have all or nothing or black or white thinking. I don't. I have, gray. So I got to give you an idea of what I think about something.
What percentage of gray are you, Chucky?
Well, the fact that if I say something is 95%, then that means, that there's not very much gray. But if I say something's 50-50, there's a lot of gray. It just gives you an idea of where I think it's at. I'm not a public
the inner workings of Chucky's mind.
Yeah.
His mathematical mind, the inner workings of the mathematical mind of Bum Gun Chuck. We need to make a show that I titled that. I have to title a show by that.
I'll give you a very good example. Okay.
What percentage is it going to be good, and what percentage is going to be bad?
That's going to be up to you. Okay. But I'll give you an example.
Oh God. Steve Moore, how you doing?
I met the American ambassador in Thailand. What's her name? Christy, whatever her name was.
I don't know.
And I asked her how many Americans died a year in Thailand. She told me, and it was like pretty high. It was like more than 100. And so people would think Thailand's really safe, but North Korea is very dangerous. Well, how many Americans have died in America, in North Korea? One.
How many go?
In the whole time.
How many go to North Korea and how many go to Thailand?
I know, but I'm just making a point. 5,000 Americans go to North Korea. So my point is that mathematically, Thailand is way more risky for death than North Korea. North Korea is very safe to go to. And if you don't break any rules, you don't break any laws, nothing's going to happen. They don't have terrorism. They don't have street robberies where you can get
That's because robbed. They don't have anybody fucking going in the country. They got a very small percentage of tourists going into the country.
I know, but if you did it on a death per million, it's very, very safe.
How much is a short?
Bert Cheat wants to know how much is a short time in North Korea.
They tried to get us to get hookers in North Korea. Our hotel had hookers in the basement, but I have no idea. This one Pakistani American guy got hookers, but everyone else was afraid to do it. They offered us hookers. Yeah.
And listen carefully. This is liberal logic. Huh? Steve Moore says, listen carefully. This is liberal logic. Chucky's going to swear he's not a liberal.
I'm not. I'm a Republican.
Wait a minute. You voted for Biden.
I'm a business Republican. I'm the kind of
Jesus.
I like the kind of Republicans who don't like Trump, and I like the kind of Democrats that are not like AOC.
There's always these caveats with you, Chucky.
Huh?
There's always these caveats. You are the fucking eternal optimist.
I'm not a pure Democrat. I'm not a pure Republican.
If somebody says they have some food for you and they hand you a big turd on a plate, you're going to say, "Oh yeah, it looks really yummy. It must be gourmet." That's how eternal you are.
I've been to North Korea. What's this guy, Patia Bob? I've been to North Korea, so I think I know more than most people. Patia Bob, after you go to North Korea with us, I want Scott to go. Then we'll talk.
Scotty only has a few countries left that he really wants to go to. And I can tell you that North Korea is not one of them.
I told you I'm going to treat you to a trip to North Korea.
I understand that.
You said
but
you
I'm
would
just
go.
telling you, I didn't say I would go.
But no,
I said I would think about it.
You said, yeah, you did say that. Yeah.
I said I would think about it. But what I'm saying is there are, at this point, listen, Chucky, I'm tired. Now, maybe once the COVID is over and all this bullshit's over, I'll be able to enjoy myself like I did. Listen, it was great to go to Railay and Khao Lak, and to a lesser extent, Phuket. It was great to go there. I felt fantastic, the first two places especially. However, it's not really possible for me to go there now. It is possible for me to go, but it's a bit of a risk, and I don't want to take it. Mm-hmm. So the way I look at it now is, and we've talked about this at great length, and I was thinking about this. There is the how far did I take the hairless thing? Only the head and the face. That's it. I still got chest hair. I still got, everything else going on there. And that's as far as it goes. Soy Dog's so quiet. Soy Dog doesn't want to look at us here because he doesn't want to ruin his eyes. That's probably why your eyes are so bad now. Been looking at the screen with me and Chucky on it.
Exactly. That duo is killing my retina, apparently. But
what did you say, erection? It's killing your erection? What? Oh, your retina. Oh.
That too.
Being away from Thailand is killing his erection.
I'm telling you.
I don't have that problem because I'm in Thailand.
I'm terrified to go to my cardiologist next because I know what's coming there. So.
Yeah. Oh, I put it away. I put my Manscaped razor away.
Scotty, if you hadn't moved to Thailand, you'd be sleeping next to a 245-pound white woman who would.
No, I wouldn't.
Every day.
No, I wouldn't. Are you out of your fucking mind? No, I wouldn't.
I'm teasing you.
Yeah, you see, here's another guy. Steve Moore says, "What the heck, Chucky? You got a Christmas tree behind you."
It's a Christmas tree. Yeah,
put a fucking star on that thing, or a little bell on the top, or something, and everybody will think it's a Christmas tree. Yeah. They already do. Why don't you decorate the goddamn thing?
Oh, what a day!
But isn't it amazing that America has vaccinated 50% of all adults, and we just approved the Pfizer for it's not
amazing.
We've done it. Well, no. And you know what? We need to give credit to Donald Trump for warp speed and Joe Biden for finishing up the deal. So I think both of them have done a great job with that. So who am I? Am I a Republican or a Democrat?
We don't want to talk about politics.
I'm Jean Valjean.
No, I'm talking.
You know what? Nobody gives a fuck at the end. They only care if it affects them. Listen, Steve, it's good that you're in here because one thing I remember about Steve is that Steve, he threads the needle very well. Chucky is blatant about it, and he doesn't always thread it so well. Steve, he doesn't give a fuck about all the politics and all that other shit. He just does. He wants to achieve the mission, get it done, and move on.
So what are Steve's
numbers? Going to North Korea, Chucky, but to me, going to North Korea, I don't know if I could forgive myself for going there because of how they treat people. Okay, and I think what I think is that you overlook that. And because there are nice people, there are nice people everywhere, Chuck. Yeah, but there are nice people everywhere. You could go to the worst fucking country and damn near every one of them will have some people that they really like you and they want to know about you. They're friendly. But then you know, you have somebody who says the wrong thing, and next thing you know, he's in jail for 20 fucking years.
Have you been to Myanmar? Have you been to China?
Who?
You.
Yeah, how many times you been to China, Chucky?
I don't know, about 12 times, something like that.
Okay, I've been there a couple of times. I've been to Myanmar far more than you have.
Mm-hmm. I've only been there one time. Yeah, and those countries kill a lot of people too. So do you feel guilty about going there?
Listen, with China, I went for work. Okay, with Myanmar, some of it was work, and some of it wasn't. And I'll tell you what, I was apprehensive about going, especially in the beginning when it was like the FEC coupons and all that other kind of shit, and you weren't supposed to go. It's like going to Cuba. If you go there and America wants to be, the American government and immigration wants to be pricks about it, they can be, you know.
Yeah, the United States, according to the latest numbers here, 50.7% has at least one dose. 40% have 2 doses.
Yeah,
there you go.
I agree with that number.
And
I just said that number, Chuck.
Yeah.
And in New York,
I know. I agreed with you too.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't
80% of the military has refused
the
this shot.
Steve guy. I don't know what numbers he's saying are incorrect, so he could tell me what it is and tell me what he thinks, and then I'll tell him my opinion. So,
well, he's just saying here 80% of the military have refused the shot.
I didn't talk about that.
No, I know, but I think he's just bringing up another point.
Yeah.
The media is lying about the number of people that have both shots. I wouldn't doubt that. And that
I don't believe that
is one of the biggest problems everywhere now. The fucking media.
I don't like the media, but I think that number is not a lie. I don't believe they're committing fraud on that. But it could be off by 5%, 2%, 3%.
You see what I mean?
Well,
it could be off like 3.78942%. Where'd you come up with that one?
I'll word it this
way. Mathematical brain.
97% confident in the numbers that are being reported. Those particular numbers. Other things, I might have zero confidence or very low. Nothing is 100% or nothing is zero. You know,
there are no guarantees.
I'll tell you
what my mother said, Chucky.
Between 0 and 100.
There's no guarantees in life. Mm-hmm. Nothing is ever 100%. And you know, one thing that I've noticed, but I always hear these people on YouTube, whenever I see little clips and stuff, and I see on TV, I hear these guys or all these little reality shows that I've been binge watching. You always hear the phrase, sure, you know, like, oh, sure, exactly. And then the big one, 100%. Super. It's super. 100%. It's always 100%. Damn near nothing is 100%.
No, I'll say 95%. Not 100. Nothing is ever 100. And nothing is ever 0. So I use the numbers to bring up my point that I don't believe in black or white. You know, I believe that there's something in the middle, and it's just my opinion. And anything that I say on Facebook or I say on this stream, I do not claim that I'm the guru of information. I'm just telling you and everybody else I'm giving you shit, Chuck,
about you being Mr. Percentage.
Yeah. No, well,
that's what I'm giving you shit
I understand. About. Some people would think it's kind of like weird. How could
all right. Case in point, they had Uncle Joe's economist said we're going to have 1.2 million jobs last month. 266,000 was actual. No one was called on it. 245-pound white woman. So true. Never had a woman over 150 pounds.
I know, but you haven't been living in America.
What the fuck are you talking about? I lived there the first half of my life. I lived there.
I knew you were. Yeah, but all those women that you dated that were hot when you were younger in America. Now they're all 245 pounds.
You haven't got a fucking clue.
100% of them are. No, I'm just kidding. But many.
You haven't got a fucking clue, my friend. I can tell you that.
I want you to follow up on all those women you dated and tell me what their average weight is.
Chuck.
I just made up the 245. I'm just saying.
I know. That's a bad number. Okay? It's really a bad number. And I know that maybe there are a lot of women. I know there are a lot of women that you see or you hang out with or that are friends of your friends or something. They might be pushing 250.
So this is interesting. You know, I didn't realize. So these numbers, like I'm looking at New York City
Thank you.
versus New York. This is interesting. So basically, we're at 60% vaccinated in New York City. And if you were to take out, that's 18 plus, meaning that they just started doing people below 18, which is a lot of people. So that's what's throwing the number down. But 18 plus, we're almost at like 62%. That's pretty good.
Yes, I agree.
Just 18 plus, meaning if you took out the kids,
I think that the liberal areas, the Democrat areas, are going to be able to get to over 72%.
Why is that? They're liberals tend to be anti-vaxxers. Those lunatics.
Yeah, but for some reason they're not really too anti-vax about this.
Oh, I don't buy that. I know some of them, and they frickin', it's all about that the vaccines are dangerous and blah blah blah. Whatever they say about it gives you autism. Then they're insane.
Yeah, I think that those liberals that are that way about those autism and things are wrong. Right?
Joe Kennedy,
I agree with that
doofus.
Thailand's numbers today: 4,887 cases, I believe, and 32 new deaths.
Out of control, I call it.
Next
How
month
many
will be low as well. You cannot pay people to stay home and realize a higher number. Yeah.
How many people have a torn retina? Is that on there? Damn it!
How many cases? I'm going to write this down. How many cases?
It's right there in the chat, Chucky.
Where? Just tell me.
Military news. That's not
right
bad.
there.
66 to 70%. Patty Bob is saying that the military says they're 66 to 7%. That's really good, actually.
Oh yeah, that's right. They're coming to pat you. It's 4,887, Chuck, and then 32 dead.
Okay.
Yeah, but they found out there was 2,000 people somewhere. I forget where the hell it is. I just saw it this morning. They found 2,000 cases. Oh, in the jail, the women's jail. That was the jail that I went to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, more than 2,000 inmates in Bangkok test for COVID-19. At the Bangkok Remand Prison and at the Women's Correctional Institute have tested positive. More than 2,000 inmates. So there you go. 2,000 just in the prison, but that still leaves almost 3,000.
Yeah.
Why the spike in Thailand? You say, yeah, that's what I'm saying right there is the jail.
I think we have to look
What
at
is
the
Songtran?
7-day average.
What is Songtran? I have no idea what Songtran is. Do you mean Songkran?
I assume that's what he means.
Yeah,
I mean, Jesus Christ, if you don't know what you're talking about, don't fucking put it in.
Well, you have some new people sometimes. Be nice.
I am nice.
What's up, B-Moron?
Don't ever say I'm not.
For more info, take a look in the Home app associated with this HomePod.
Oh,
He talks on her own
don't use the fucking audio.
I didn't use it. She turned on by herself.
B-Moron that no, America's not going to make you get the vaccine in Thailand before you go back. So when you go back, you go get the vaccine, though. You know, whatever state you live in. They
canceled your flight? I believe the Indian variant is here in Thailand. There's not a couple of cases. I could have sworn I saw that the other day, but let me see. What is this? In California and New York, they just let prisoners go.
Yeah, they let many go.
What was I looking at here? I have my patience is gone for all this shit. All this nonsense.
Well, in any case, the vaccination level is really high in the USA, and we're still going to be working on it for at least 2 more months. So,
and then we got to get our booster shots.
We might have to all
Okay,
start.
so Chucky, wasn't your topic of the day plan your trip to Thailand
Yeah.
in 2021?
Uh-huh.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
We
have
kind of
at it,
forgot about
buddy. Here you
Huh?
go. Soy Dog is not not in Florida. He is in New York now. Talk to us,
Yes, I'm back
Chucky.
in New York.
What do you
Well,
want to say about
I
what do you want
talked
to say about planning your trip to Thailand?
I talk to a lot of people that I meet, and I tell them how much I love Thailand. They say, "Oh, I have to go there." And these are just a couple of few things. I tell them, buy your airplane tickets. Ask a Thai person at a Thai restaurant or a Thai business how they get their tickets to Thailand because they usually know the best prices. So that's one thing. Ask a few people in the restaurant, like the owner or manager, or a couple of waiters, if you can, and say where do you buy your tickets so you can find the cheapest place because they're always looking for the cheapest way to go home. And then the other thing is I tell people don't stay in an international brand name hotel because they're going to be USA prices. Stay at a hotel that has like 15 or 20 rooms that's been remodeled that has a high score on hotels.com or Expedia or any of those websites that has really good reviews, but that's and really clean and been remodeled or built less than 2 years old. And then I tell people there's three main areas of Thailand: the north, which is kind of a mountain experience, and Bangkok, which is like a big city experience, and then the south where there's many beaches. And then I just say that, and ask them if they have any questions.
And where should they stay?
You
What part
mean,
of if they're going to be in Bangkok? What part of Bangkok?
oh, I think there's many different areas to say. It depends on what their goal is. If their goal is like if they were straight, they probably should stay in. If they're a straight guy looking for some girls, they got to stay in the Sukhumvit area, or they could stay in Siloam. If they're gay, they got to stay in Siloam or Satorn.
I like how Chucky he categorizes by sexual preference.
Well, it's about sex, so whether.
Well, is it?
Well, I'm not saying all tourists are like that, but I'm saying if it is,
Okay.
they got to think about where to stay. I don't think. I think maybe an average straight guy is going to like being in Sukhumvit way more than Siloam, and definitely a gay person is going to hate being in Sukhumvit. Hate it, because
Really?
yeah, of course.
Ugh.
There's not very much gay.
Yeah, where do lesbians go? And what about bisexuals? How do they choose? That must be a hard choice, Chucky.
Bisexuals
You're
should
the
go to
expert.
Siloam because they should go to Siloam because there's girl bars there and boy bars. So bisexuals should be in Siloam, in my opinion. But also, if a guy is fairly good looking, then he should try to meet guys or girls that he just sees at the shopping mall or at
So the shopping
banks.
mall, wow, you're not allowed to sit anywhere. honey, wait a second. Let's go sit outside and let me talk to you.
I'm talking about normal conditions.
I understand. I'm fucking with you, Chucky.
And then that's kind
I
of.
like to hear Chucky's perspective.
I probably have helped about, I don't know, at least 25 people go to Thailand who many of them I just met randomly, like in a movie theater. And, the topic of Thailand came up and I gave them my phone number and they contacted me years later asking me questions. Hey, you remember me? I met you at the blah, blah, blah.
Who is this fucking dickhead? What is this? Chill for the misspelling? Go fuck yourself, buddy.
I agree with him. I think it's okay.
I don't give a fuck what you agree with, Chuck.
Not everyone knows how to spell it.
Oh, God. Then don't act like you know what the fuck you're talking about here.
Yeah. If me and Scott were cops, like a team on the beat, he would be the one that escalates and I'd be the one that de-escalates.
Is that how it works?
I'd be trying to get you to de-escalate. I say, Scotty,
What is
de-escalate.
it? Autocorrect.
Yeah,
It's the
probably.
Sontran. It's the Sontran festival. Is that like the Sontran?
That's Songkran for transgenders. He's right.
No, he's not right. Okay, Chuck,
I'm
don't
just
fucking
joking.
egg him on, and don't start with this shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Do men who like men like LBs? What's LBs?
What's LB?
Oh, I think he means lady boys.
That's a different category. I don't think that. I think there's four kinds of sexual orientation. I think there's like straight, gay, bisexual, and people that are into transgender. And that's a different niche. Like the men that are into transgender, they hate going to gay bars. They hate it. And they hate gay stuff. Guys into lady boys. It's true. They hate gay stuff. So I think they're in a totally separate category.
Why do we always come to this fucking conversation with you, Chuck?
You just asked me.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, but I didn't need a fucking in-depth description.
Well, it needed to be.
He always wants to get deep into this.
There is not just gay or straight. There's different categories.
God. Thank you, Mr. Bilal. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Choke knee to you. Oh, God. It's always about that here. Jesus Christ. Stick it wherever you want. I mean, really, that's my philosophy. Whatever makes you happy, put it wherever you want. It doesn't matter. I mean, let me ask you something there, Soy Dog Cowboy, since you're a little quiet, and we just want to we don't want to make you look at anything. We'd rather have you listen because your eyes are fucked up. Mm-hmm. You can imagine this, though. Does it really matter what somebody does behind closed doors to you, other than yourself or someone that you are close to? No. Like, yeah. Does it really matter? Listen, I don't even know how Chuck ended up telling me that he was gay. I mean, I think like when I met him, which was, I don't even remember when, but he flat out just came out, well, I'm gay. He just came right out, boom. And like I'm going to give a shit. I didn't give a shit either way. We appreciate Chuck's input. Yes, we do appreciate him, but he knows that I'm opinionated just like he is. Yeah. He likes a little more in the gray. I like a little more in the black and the white.
You like the titties.
You like the Longhorn says input. It's a gray area. LOL. Nana. What about Nana?
Nana.
Be right back. What about Nana? What about say something? Guys. What?
Nana's good area for straight guys, but horrible for gays.
Well, Nana is a good place for straight guys if that's where they want to be around. They want to be around all the go-go bars and all that stuff. And right now, it doesn't make much of a difference, does it?
Mm-hmm. And I think that if someone is coming to stay in Thailand for 3 months, it would be good to date women that work at banks and work in the mall and office workers, because it takes time to develop those dating relationships. But if someone's coming, my friends are coming for 2 weeks, I tell them, it's harder to meet those girls that way.
Isn't that what I said?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
A long time ago?
Oh, you've said this many times.
Yes.
Many.
I mean, listen, it depends on who you are. Listen, if you're a young guy, you're like 24, 25, 30, and, you're very fit, put together, and you come over, inevitably you will land some girls who are regular girls, whether they speak 2 words of English or, they have an extensive vocabulary in English and they can speak fluently. But if you're somebody who's 50, 60 years old, it's going to be a little more difficult just to pick one up right away. And I mean, I know down in the South on the islands, I know some girls who, like what they do is they live there. They have some little, coffee shop job or fucking 7-Eleven or something. And then they go out all the time. They meet some guy. The guy's there for a month or 2. That's their boyfriend. He's basically their sponsor. Maybe he throws them a little cash once in a while. They don't view themselves as a whore. And he doesn't either, maybe. And then, when the guy leaves, she's got to go find another guy, and this happens all over the place. Oh, God. 420 and 420 a gallon here, afternoon.
Oh, 460.
I got to get to you, Maranta. Listen, Maranta, when you have something, Maranta, you've never been in the stream before, ever. If you have something to say that's useful, please say it. But if you don't say something useful, if you have some stupid fucking comment or something that is just not addressed to anybody, like you can't ever put anything in a sentence, then what the fuck do you expect me to do? I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Fucking, Jesus Christ. Chucky was testing you when he first met you because he couldn't tell if you were a big daddy. No, he's told me many times, don't ever worry because you're definitely not my type. I like the little Asian guys. And I'm like, I honestly find Lady was attractive and I'm straight. Well, good for you. I say, salud. When I was drinking at Balcony Bar in Nana, many men were going into the Ladyboy short time rooms. And we're just going to skip over this fucking guy. You used to see guys parading around with their Ladyboys on Circumvent all the time. Chuck is the good cop. Scott is the bad Ed Aslan. Oh, shut the fuck up. This guy's a fucking idiot.
By the way, behind the scenes, everybody, Scott is a very sweet guy.
Sorry, my computer decided to update. Oh, no worries, man. Yeah, well, I can be a nice guy. One thing that really I do not like is assholes coming into the fucking chat who act like they know me. And maybe they've been watching for a while or something. I don't know. But to me, they're assholes. They've never said hello. They've never said word one to me. They've never left a comment. And then they come in here and they say a bunch of things that is kind of like passive aggressive. And to me, I'm just like, I don't need to listen to this shit. Scott has anger issues. And so what? Are you perfect? Otherwise, if you're perfect, please, okay, you're right. If you're not perfect, and I doubt you are, fuck off. See you later. And I agree, Benny the Butcher. I agree. Download Tinder app, pay $100, and you can change your location or get a VPN and work on trying to find some normal people before going on your vacation. So I heard. Is that what it is? It's $100?
Yeah, you know what? I use dating apps and I start setting up dates like 3 months before I go. And it's been wonderful. Not just Thailand, but Vietnam, China, Hong Kong, Taiwan, Singapore. It's really, really good advice.
Chuck, do not wear that watch or you will possibly be in a world of hurt. I don't think it's an expensive watch, is it?
I bought this watch for $285 on sale. Yeah.
So it's not all that expensive,
Reminds me of-
but it looks expensive.
That reminds me of Woody Allen joke where he goes, "You like this watch?" He goes, "My grandfather on his deathbed sold me this watch." He sold him.
Scott, kill those trolls. Yes, exactly. Tinder is thick with pro-am girlfriends.
What are pro-am girlfriends? Oh,
I can tell you that when the internet first came out, when it first started gaining some momentum, I'm talking about the days of Prodigy. What was the other one? AOL. What was that other one? There was another one, I think. But anyway, Prodigy and AOL. I remember, meeting some broad off of I think it was AOL, and she lived in Hollywood, and I was like, I don't know if I should meet this chick, and she sent me a photo, and I go, hey, she looks all right, CompuServe, yeah, and so I went and met her, and man, I was like, I didn't know what to expect, how to do. I'd never been like on that kind of a blind date in my life, and I met her, and the chick just flat out, she wanted, all she wanted was to have a little fling. That was all she wanted. I was like, really? This is all right, man. You know, and she was okay. She was, she wasn't fantastic looking or anything, but she was all right. I just remember she had some BOTs. You know what that is, Chuck? Big ol'
Ditties.
Thank you.
Cool. Right.
So it can be useful. Buffering.
Well, you know what it is I talk to them, and I'm talking to many of them, and I get the feel of what they think about life, and they get to know about me, and
Yeah,
I've
different
got so
generation,
now,
Chucky.
people don't ask me for money anymore.
Different generation than me, Chucky.
Yeah.
You know, how old are you? How old are you?
I probably spend about 10 hours a week with those dating apps.
How old are you?
I am. It's public.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
No, I'm 59.
Oh, so you're older than I am.
Yeah.
And you're still involved in this kind of shit.
Yeah. It's okay. I've been in long relationships too. I'm monogamous.
I think to me it would be good. I think it would be a good thing if you're a single guy and you're straight up and you go, listen, I just need a strange piece of ass, you know.
But that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for.
No, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about single guys. They're like, I need some strange. Are you interested? Here's my photo. Here, let me see yours. You go meet up. All right, let's get at it, honey. And then it's okay. See you later. That's about, to me, I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's people that can get involved online and they're like, oh my God, I've fallen in love and all that. But I don't know. I'm out of I've been out of the scene and out of the whole American culture and the internet culture and all that kind of stuff for so long now. Really. I mean, I never was involved in the internet all that much in any kind of internet dating ever, So it's very unique to me, but I can see where it could be useful to some people. Like I said, if you want to get laid, especially now when, none of the bars are open, guys, if they come here, they're like, I don't have a girlfriend. Well, maybe you might by the time you leave, or, you might have yourself a special friend.
And also there's different dating apps, like the dating app Grinder is for people that want hookups, and the dating app Jack D is more for people that are not into hookups. So you focus on certain apps to get what you're looking for.
Thank you, Mr. Percentage Chucky. You are now considered the expert of the apps. Anybody needs to find out, they need a little something. Chucky will be he's more than willing to provide you with the information and the names of the apps that you may need to get what you so crave. Have you ever had a bad experience, Chucky?
In what way? In what way?
From your app hookups.
What do you mean by bad?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I've never had anyone violent with me or scream at me or anyone psycho. One time, I haven't had anything like that. I haven't had anything risky happen at all. I'd say that more than half of the people I meet online, when I meet them, they don't like me. And then another 30%, I don't like them. So they meet me and they don't like me, but many times we both don't like each other.
What's that one? The Next, where you keep swiping? Is that a hookup app?
So basically, I would say that this is a rough. I didn't write this down, and
you got a percentage.
No, it's not a percentage. But let's say if I focus on going to KL, Kuala Lumpur, okay, and I go through and look through, and let's say I send 300 messages introducing myself. Chances are I will get dates with 3 of them that are really cute. And I have to work on that about 2 months before the trip.
1%.
Maybe 2%, maybe 3%.
Liberals
Maybe,
never meet anybody bad.
huh? So usually
Liberals never meet anybody
the ones
bad.
I'm meeting, I have chatted with them for at least 4 hours total. And they know something about me and I know something about them.
And what is it that you know?
Oh, I just get to know about their life, and things like that.
Oh, God.
You know,
Yeah, I guess.
what they believe in relationships and different things like that. So
All that
But
unimportant shit.
my niche is the ones that hate gay hookup culture, and they feel like lonely, like it's hard to find like a romantic guy who will just focus on them. So
Chucky, you are
they
boring
think I'm
the hell
special.
out. Chucky, you're going to have to get a little more exciting because Soy Dog Cowboy is completely bored. Why don't you go to get some rest, Soy Dog Cowboy? Call it a night.
Yeah, I'm going to do that because it was a long day.
We don't want to tire your eyes out any more than they're already tired.
I know I'm going to be good, like doing this.
You need to take care of that. So
down on my eye, I had another surgery today. There was a third tear because why not? And the way my life is going,
that's crazy, though.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I was still stunned when he said it. I'm like, I even threw out the, "Are you sure?" And he goes, "Yeah, there it is."
So, is there any chance of that happening, like, again?
Yeah, of course. In the other eye, could happen.
Wow.
I would imagine it will.
So this is the kind of thing that I have to look forward to.
Well, if you're nearsighted, you have a higher susceptibility.
Well, I'm farsighted.
Well, then no, it probably won't happen.
I got astigmatism.
Right, but the tear is a pain. I wouldn't.
I'm going to need to go soon because my eyes are getting really. I mean, I'm telling you, it used to be I could look at the phone and I could squint and I could see very small type, pretty easily. Now I have to hold it away and make my eyes to look at it in a certain way, and so that's why I got I guard these with my life. They're just beater glasses, but I need them.
You need monovision. That means they correct only one eye. That's half the price for LASIK surgery.
Half the price.
I know I need LASIK surgery. I know that. I think it's about 80,000 baht here. But anyway, we'll let Soy Dog Cowboy go. Oh shit!
I will talk to you soon, gentlemen.
All right, you take care, man. Ciao. All right. Soy Dog Cowboy not feeling very well. Hasn't been feeling well for the last month, really. In sales, 10% is the going rate for hits, Chucky. You need a bit of work, buddy.
Oh, I'm talking about he's talking about
no,
hits.
but what about closes?
No.
How many do you close the deal on?
No, my closes are as far as like where I meet someone and they're into me and I'm into them is about 2%. But as far as the first responding back to me, it's probably like, I don't know, 50%, 60%. Send me messages, but a lot of them as I'm talking to them, like if they start talking to me about money and they have problems, then I delete them. So there's a difference between hits and closes, and I don't mean closes sexually. I'm talking about that we met, and I thought,
we don't need to know about that, Chuck.
Yeah,
although
it just means, hey,
if it was a man and a woman, I'd probably be going, okay, like, listen, you know how many times I've had guys come to me and they go, oh, she's the greatest girl. I really like her so much. Here I'm talking about. And I'm like, are you banging her? No, she's not that kind of girl. She doesn't do this. I go, how long you been seeing her? Like a month, 2 months. And I'm like, ugh, forget about it. Forget it. 90, I'm going to say 99.25% of the time, like here in Thailand, if she's not, engaging with you, so to speak, by like the second or third date, it ain't going to happen. I mean, it doesn't have to you don't have to follow through to completion necessarily, but you got to see that it's going to happen if she's a truly a decent girl.
Or at least if they got to make out with you. And they
well,
seem
yeah,
like
that's what I mean.
they
You
wanna make
got to
out.
be at that point where you're like, oh, I want to. Oh, yeah, so do I. But I'm not that kind of a girl. That kind of thing. Okay, forget about it.
Well, actually, I think that if they're not into you, it's going to be easier for them to have sex than it is for them to make out. I think making out is a higher threshold. It's very hard for them.
Chuck. For who? For women?
For women.
No.
Yeah. No, because making out is more intimate. If they're kind of like a semi-money girl.
Chuck, I don't want to get that. I don't want to get too graphic, but I know that some people believe that, but I don't.
Like, okay. That song called "It's in His Kiss." If you want to know he loves you so.
Listen, there used to be that some Thai girls were still into the whole sniffing. They sniff your face, and that was about you. You get a little, and some of them were like, "Oh no, I don't want to do that." I don't think it's like that anymore.
No, they don't sniff. They're really,
and if you think about it, I don't care what they think, to be honest, because when you think about it, I mean, like I said, I don't feel like getting too graphic about this shit, but there are some things that you can do that are far more intimate than giving some chick a kiss.
Oh, I don't mean kiss. I'm talking about making out, where they make out with you for an hour. That's going to be hard for a money girl to make out with a customer for an hour. That's very
It's going to be hard for them to make out with somebody for 10 minutes.
Even 30 seconds.
All right, we don't need enough. Now we're getting into the percentages and the amount of time.
I'm just saying.
I'm a fucking realist for sure.
If someone watching right now, if their girl wants to make out with them for an extended period of time, that means a very high chance she's into you. But if she closes her mouth really tight and seems to be afraid of your tongue, that's scary. Because she could just lay there and let you do it.
Chuck, I think in this case, I don't know. I mean, I haven't had that really happen to me very often, except maybe in the very beginning when I first came over here, where chicks did not want to open their mouth. They were like, or they're laying there, and that was, a worker. Never one that was a decent, a non-work. I don't want to say decent because that doesn't sound
but
other girl is
when
decent.
You're on the internet trying to date, some of them are not official money girls, but some of them are opportunistic. So they will date you even though they don't think you're all that hot. So, if you're
so she's a user.
Yeah. This is a way to.
What's the sniffing thing? The sniffing thing. When you put your nose up against the girl's face or she does that to you, that's the same in their culture back in the day as a little peck on the cheek or whatever.
I think it's more than a peck on a cheek. It means they really like you. That's a good sign.
Well, listen.
But that's
most Thai women are not going to be kissing you or coming close to you where you're face to face if they're not into you.
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
That's exactly what my comment said.
People even listen. I know the baristas, and I've known a lot over my time here. I've met a lot of girls that work at coffee shops because I spend a lot of time there. I would never go up to a girl in a coffee shop if she's out walking around on the street and walk up and go, "Oh, hi, honey," and give her a hug and give her a sniff or a little kiss on the cheek, and then on the forehead or something like that. Like the European kind of thing. I would never do that. It's just not their culture.
Oh yeah, and I'm not talking about making out in public. I'm talking about when you're alone with the girl.
How did we listen, Chuck? You said that we need to talk about planning your trip to Thailand. Mm-hmm. Is this involved in that? Is this part of that?
I think
Why does it always have to revert? We revert to one or two things.
Well, I think
it's always about the poop and the bum gun, or it's about sex.
Poop. I don't care about
women.
Poop. You're the one that cares about poop.
It's not me.
Well, I don't.
You haven't heard me talking about it lately.
I don't give a shit about
the bum gun. Yeah. Okay,
I don't
good.
give a shit about shit.
Good.
No, I just, I talked about, how to plan the trip, but I think that dating is an important thing. I think that, people, should know what they want and know what their boundaries are and be able to, evaluate, because there's a lot of people that come to Thailand and they don't have much dating experience in their lives. So they're
How do you know that?
extremely vulnerable, because
How do you know that?
I talk to them when I meet them.
These are guys looking for guys?
No, both. I meet a lot of straight people too.
I don't know.
I think
anyway,
there's two things. If you are dating them and you're not giving them any money over an extended period of time, you're not buying them any luxury gift, and they make out with you, and then you're on a good path. But if she won't make out with
how
you,
about this, Chuck? I'll make it a little easier. Make sure she has a job and that she's not asking you for money. That's a good start.
Well, the money.
After that, anything that happens is gravy.
But I've met people that have jobs, but they're still a user.
I understand.
They're not really attracted to you.
Just because someone isn't working in a go-go bar doesn't mean that they're not going to try to take you for everything that you've got. But I'm saying it's a good start if they have a job.
Of course.
And, and she's not asking you for money.
Mm-hmm.
And Gennaro, married guys have a say. Fuck that. They always have a say. Ooh, gravy. Yeah, I know. Longhorns likes the gravy. He gets the gravy. So any more tips, Chucky?
No. Oh, just read a couple of books about boundaries. And talk to your therapist before you go to Thailand. And say,
yeah.
therapist.
And let me just tell you something, Chuck. I got to give you a tip. I got to give you a tip.
Yeah.
Never travel for the ass.
I think that's okay.
Which is what you kind of do.
No, that's not true. I love
you
traveling.
Can't go anywhere. Almost never do you go somewhere where you don't have something lined up with some little.
No, I disagree.
Friend.
When I go to Latin America and when I go to Europe, I almost never can meet anyone. It's only happened a few times where I had a date. In fact, I get many messages on my phone, and
maybe that has something to do with your preference is for Asians.
Yeah. Oh, if there were Asians in these countries, then I would date.
Mm-hmm.
But like when I go to the Middle East, I get the most messages. I get like over 500 messages per day from these hairy Arabs.
Twink Travels, may I help you?
These hairy Arabs. They said the extremely vulgar things to me. Oh my God! But I don't.
We don't need to know about it. Okay.
I'm just not interested. But that doesn't stop me from going to those countries. I love traveling.
Mm-hmm.
So no, it's not just for that. If
you say so.
And many of the times when I've traveled, I go with friends, I go with dates, or with relationships. When I've been in relationships, I've been in 2 long relationships.
Yeah, you weren't into any Nepalese guys when I saw you, or Bangladesh guys.
No.
To your credit, because I told you none of that. We'll have none of that. Making out in front of me shit in the
I wouldn't
coffee
do that
shop or something like that.
I wouldn't do that. But I love going to Nepal and Bangladesh with you. That was a great trip.
Yeah, it was. It was a good trip.
I
like Nepal a lot, and I like Bangladesh, but in a different way than Nepal. I like Nepal a lot.
Countries are amazing. They're amazing.
Yeah, it's good, but I don't think I'll ever go there again. At least not in the near future.
I want to go again. I thought it was.
And I won't be going to India.
I've been to India one time.
I'm not going to go. Anyway, where's your favorite destination, Chuck? Is it Thailand?
I don't really have a favorite destination. It depends on the category.
What category?
Like, I'll name a few. The country with the most amazing views and locations is Italy. The most interesting country in the world, by far, is North Korea. By far.
Ugh.
It's like, wow, this is really weird.
I'm
This
going
is
to
really
reserve my comments for if I ever go there, but I'm going to say I have a hard time believing that. Steve K, thank you very much. You are the first super chat of the day, so thank you very much.
Right.
Choked and all that good stuff. Appreciate it. I was wondering where you were at and how you're doing. But thank you. What now? Gennaro's asking for dating. Maybe you can help Gennaro with some action.
Well, I can tell Gennaro that I think when I went to Iran, then I went to Jordan and Lebanon. This is related to dating. And then I went to Israel. When I got to Israel, they saw my Iran visa and they interrogated me for 4 hours and they looked at every picture in my phone. And after I was all interrogated, the guy said to me, he said, those guys that you're with in Asia, they like you? And I said, yeah, they do. And he said, do they got sisters? Do they got sisters? He said, I got to go I got to go. So, and I have straight friends that are good at dating also too. So I think these dating techniques cross over between, it's the same for straight.
You don't need to talk about it though, Chuck. That's the thing. A lot of times you don't need to talk about it, and I'll tell you why. Have you ever heard the guy who, and I have heard this several times from many times from guys, especially here. I went to this place and I banged the shit out of this chick over here, and I met this one. She's the hottest chick I ever met in my life. Oh, I went over there and I had this one. I've had like 47 in the last 3 nights, and oh my god, and they're so great. I'm gonna marry this one, and I'm just like, oh Jesus Christ. Is there anything else? And for you, I will say, while you like to have your fun, and you're just a very social person. There are people who are similar to you in that travel, but they are all about getting as much action as they can. And that's it. They don't care. I know several people who they have never been outside of the Nana area of Bangkok. And then they're talking to me like, oh yeah, I know all about this. I know all about that. I'm like, how the hell do you know anything about this? You've only been here 2 times, and both times you were here for 2 weeks, and you didn't fucking get out of, succumb to Soy 4. You didn't go anywhere else. And I think, listen, if that's what somebody wants, they want to come and they just want to shack up for 2 weeks. That's their bit. That's on them. But, there's more to Thailand than just that. That's what my point is. And I will say that while you like to, from what I've seen is, and you're into the Asian thing, when you travel, you like to hit many places, and I don't know how you do your thing with the guys because I don't, I'm not around. But when I've been with you, when we've traveled to places, yes, you're very into seeing the sights and, checking out cool things. And like in Bangladesh, we went on that boat. Remember we went on that boat? That was pretty cool. And then we went up in the mountains in Nepal. Remember we were in that place where, I forget the name of the mountain we could see, but we were in that little wooden place and we had like hot cocoa or whatever the fuck it was, remember? It was out in the middle of nowhere, way up in the mountains, and we were scared shitless we were going to go off the side of the road. You remember that?
I told him to slow down, remember? If you're driving too fast.
I only get to travel with the wife, so it's all about the culture. Well, my wife is starting to get to that point now where she wants me to go everywhere with her. Well, I would like to go there. I don't know, I'm going to be working, and that's what I used to say. Now she's like, I don't give a fuck. I want to go. Schedule it to when we have time off, Yeah, there's a lot about. Listen,
what, Scott? I have quite a few friends that are both straight and gay, and they will travel, and
Isn't
they
that
will.
called bisexual?
No, they're not bisexual. I'm talking about, some that are straight guys, 100%
Oh, okay.
straight, and some that are gay, and especially like an example is my friend Martin. My friend Martin from London. He travels all the time, and all he thinks about is dating and hookups, and he doesn't even look at any of the sites or go anywhere. He just
I know
goes.
guys like that.
That's all he thinks about.
And I'm like, why don't you dedicate that same energy into the women back home? And maybe you'll end up landing a really good one. If like you can keep it on the down low.
Mhm.
The trick is, from what I know, to be a real player, the women know you're a player. You don't have to be aggressive in your going after them, and you're always, they don't need to see you going after every single girl to know that you're a player. Women have that built-in intuition. They know this guy's probably a player. He probably gets all kinds of action, So take that for what it's worth.
Well, I think a lot of guys, especially white guys, will come to Asia because they have an advantage. It's
What's the advantage?
The law of supply and demand. In other words, when if I go to Taiwan, there's only maybe 400 that are white versus 100,000 that are Asian. So, every time I go back to the USA and I go out to clubs, I always wonder the first day, why is everyone not looking at me?
Because they know you're a player from the Himalaya.
No.
Niall, what's happening? You just missed Soy Dog Cowboy. Yeah. So go on, Chucky. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
So we're just more popular. Just like I have these good friends from Singapore, right? And when they go to a city that has a lot of Asians, they're not very popular. But when they go to a city that has no Asians, oh my God, they're so popular. It's unbelievable. So they keep going to Salt Lake City where there's almost no Asians, and they come to, and it's like 99% white or 90-something% white, and they like whites. And, they're like, oh, Salt Lake City, they like us so much. It's unbelievable.
Listen,
location matters.
I'm a firm believer that when you first come to a place and you are new and you are interesting and people don't know about you, yes, then you are a valued commodity. Once they start to know you and they realize that you're kind of just like them, but with some differences, especially if they're not just out for the money, then you drop down in value. And it's just a natural occurrence. You may always have a little bit of a higher value depending on where you are and depending on, what you look like and all your other attributes. But all in all, in the beginning, when you're somebody new, I mean, you go into a little village and you're the one guy there, the one Caucasian. Maybe there's 10 girls that are like, oh wow, and then 3 of them find out that they don't like you, and then there's another 5 of them. They're like, well, I'm little, he's big, maybe cannot. Then you got 2 left.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, the next thing you know, you're like, damn, I went through 10 girls and none of them are really the right one for me. No scarcity of available attractive women in Thailand. Gennaro, you got that right. I can't take a vacation and only focus on women. What a waste. Well, yeah, I would say if you focus all your energy on women, you're missing out, all good. Got my first amnesty extension. I'm good until July now. Sweet cakes. Interesting. What is this here? I figured you would get it, though. Scott, how's the economy there? How are people surviving? The economy it's not good, but people are just getting by for right now. That's about it. They're just getting by however they can. I mean, I've had talks with many taxi drivers, and most of them are saying they're only making 10 or 20% of what they were making before the COVID. And a lot of the restaurants, they're only staying in business because of Grab. But there's a lot of places they're out of business, and like I was talking about a couple of days ago, and I just saw another article about it today or yesterday. Like 47% of hotels, they don't have enough in the kitty to last for another 3 months. So what does that tell you? I feel like it's just good to be a dude in Asia in general. Yeah, I mean, listen, I feel good to be a dude anywhere.
Yeah, but it's better in.
I don't know. I wouldn't want to be a woman. I'm glad I'm a man. I remember a village in Patalung. People were so nice as walking to the main road, they keep waving you over for a drink. That's kind of normal, King Kaoriang, did you eat your food? Did you eat yet? Have you eaten yet? Regardless of race. Nile and Thailand, awesome. Not trying for the 90-day that you can extend. Does the government help anyone, taxes, etc.? There is some help for the businesses, but very little. Although they're trying, like with the airlines and the hotels, but as far as the people go, they were talking about. I heard something about a 2,000 baht stipend that's coming, but also there was a 7,000 baht one time. Like I don't know if they give it to you. I don't think they give it to you in a check, but a payment. And that's not very much, but something's better than nothing, I guess. But we don't get any of that shit. My kids don't qualify for it. My wife doesn't qualify for it. I don't qualify for it. So none of us are getting any of it. But that's fine. We don't need it. But some of the people who need it, they're not getting it. Just because it's too much of a hassle to go get it, or they don't know about it. Some of them don't know about it. I mean, there's, usually they find out, but nah, man, that wasn't available for some reason. I think they're doing away with this visa. The 4-year digital nomad is on its way soon. I'm keeping my ear to the ground. Yeah, I don't know why they haven't, done more with that digital nomad visa. I would say that in the future, now that more people are working online, that's a way that they can really increase the numbers of people that maybe are paying tax here, but that may be as long as it's reasonable, I would think that some people are willing to pay it, or pay some kind of a fee, besides just the visa fee. They got to pay something into the system. The place in Cebu I was looking is down 35% now. Oh, that's why I was wondering. Oh, well, yeah, there you go. I know that Patia Bob was in here earlier, and he said that the rental properties, the rents are down quite a bit, but it's very easy for him to buy a property and then turn it over, and still make money off of it. That is a Christmas tree. It's a Christmas tree, Chucky, you got behind you.
Okay, that's cool. It's a.
When are you gonna put some garlands on it and a star on the top and put some lights on it? You got to decorate
a Christmas tree. It's a pagan tree. That's what I'm going to call it.
It's what was the one in what's the thing?
Tree.
No, what's the thing? Festivus.
Mm-hmm.
Remember Festivus?
Is that pagan?
No, that's from Seinfeld.
Oh, okay.
Festivus for the rest of us. Instead of having Christmas, they had a pole, and they called it, I don't remember exactly what they did, but they called the tradition, the holiday tradition, Festivus, and it was Festivus for the rest of us. That was the tagline.
Okay.
That was on Seinfeld. I take it you don't watch much TV, do you, other than news?
No, I watch a lot of History Channel and learning type things, and I watch C-SPAN.
Yeah, C-SPAN.
I watch the
Listen,
news, but tons.
I remember Festivus. I got to tell you, at night I have been binge watching on Netflix. And yesterday I finished up with the one, it's called The Staircase, which that was a roller coaster ride. That show and that guy's life. It's, one of these murder mystery kind of documentary things. That was quite good. And I've been watching True Detectives. Is it True Detectives or Detective? True Detective. What was the other one I watched? Anyway, so those were pretty good though. You got to watch that. And then I'm going to watch the Son of Sam one, which is on. And I started to watch it, but I went to something else. So there are some things to watch if you want to binge watch, like at night if you're not out. But Chucky, you're probably out.
I'm out. What do you mean?
Are you out at night? You've been going out?
Oh, I go out once a week.
Only once a week?
To a bar once a week.
Oh.
But it's outdoor patio. That you can go there.
Okay. Three questions for Chucky. Three questions for Chucky. Would you return to Iran? Would you return to Iran, Chucky?
Yes, without a doubt.
Is Korea?
By the way, I went to. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Is North Korea expensive?
No, cheap.
Lastly, what tour company did you use while there?
Okay, there are different companies, but I use the one that's been around the longest, and they have 60% market share. It's called Koryo. It's owned by British people, and actually, Koryo, Koryo, and Koryo happens to be the name of the national airline for North Korea. In case someone forgets. What's cool about them is you meet in Beijing, the others do too, and they give you an orientation and a booklet to learn about the rules and the law so you don't get yourself into trouble. And what's really cool is 2 British people went on the tour with us. So on our tour with 50 people, we had 2 British tour guides, which one of them happened to be the general manager of the tour company, and 4 North Korean tour guides. And out of those North Korean tour guides, 2 of them were really conservative, and the other 2 hated the government and told me they hated it every day, all day long, when the other tour guides couldn't hear them, and taught me about all the corruption systems. If I was with the CIA, I would have gotten a lot of information.
So Niall has made another recommendation on for Netflix, and actually, this is the kind of thing that I like. Especially since I grew up in Miami and I was there I was in Miami in 1975, but it's the Miami Show Band Massacre. And it's the killing of 3 members of the Miami Show Band sent shockwaves across Ireland in 1975. Now one survivor doggedly pursues the truth. Sounds pretty good to me. I like stuff like that. It's too bad Lori's not on. She's a big proponent of watching stuff on YouTube that's crime related, all these kind of documentaries and stuff like that. Anyway, let me go on here, Niall, because we only got a few minutes here. Niall, only thing I watched close to Irish was The Irishman. Listen, Niall, I mean, I'm not just saying this, but like my family came from Ireland in my mother's side. I think it was 1847 or something like that. Came to America then, and I really like Irish music and a lot of the things that come out of Ireland. And my mother went there, and she loved it. She said the only thing I might not like, and I've said this before, is the weather. She said, but the people were great. And I said, well, I'd really like to go over there and look farther into my my background, my family background, see what I can find. And she said, yeah, you should. Make that something on your bucket list. So that is on my bucket list. I do want to go to Ireland at some point. Is it easy to get in and out of North Korea if you have a tour, right?
No visa required.
Yeah, if you're not a citizen. If you're a citizen, no, you're not going to be leaving.
No, yeah. If you don't have to apply for a visa. You just book with the tour company and they tell the government in advance who's coming, and that's it. No one,
Yeah.
and I never got inspected or searched going in or going out, and no one ever looked at one picture I took. And I took pictures of many, many poor people and people that looked desperate and down and out right in front of my tour guides, and no one stopped me at all. They just said, don't take any pictures of the army people, the military, the police. And if sometimes we're going to drive through military bases, and when we do, we're going to warn you, and don't take any pictures out the window when we drive through that area. And my tour guides were really between polite, but two of them were extra warm and extra nice, and totally trash talk the government all day long. And so there was a lot more variety than I thought. And there were times when we got to be alone for like an hour. Like they'd say, okay, you can go anywhere you want around this, whether we're near the subway. And they said, but you just got to be back in an hour. So anywhere.
Isn't that when your little gay tour guide, you broke his heart during that hour of free time?
No, he wasn't with him. But I met actually three guys tried to hit on me in North Korea. 3 North Koreans. 3.
No women? Did any women try to hit on you?
One of my tour guides cried when I left. She cried.
So you are a heartbreaker, Chuck.
She told me I was the most sweet, romantic, ideal man.
Romantic? How would she know you're romantic?
Because I was very warm to her. I didn't insult her country. I asked her many questions, and I warmed her up. And she's the one that ended up telling me all the stuff she hates about
warmed her up.
Yeah, I was just nice to her. I said, so, what about this? Okay. What about that? She's the one, after a day and a half of talking to her, she was telling me everything. She was telling me how prostitution works. She was telling me about many, many different things, about all the corruption system and how you do it.
How many days were you there? Like a week? 8 days?
I was there for 6 days. And it was $2,200, but that includes everything: tips, food, beer. They give you
prostitutes.
Breakfast, they give you 1 beer. Lunch, they give you 2, and dinner, they give you 3. So if you want more than that, then you're gonna have to buy the beers. Yeah, but everything else was free. Or if you buy something in the gift shops, which their prices were really, really cheap, really cheap. And
interesting.
And one of my tour guides, I said to her, I said, do you know what email is? And she says, I have an idea, roughly speaking, of what it is. It's kind of like text, but something different. I said, am I allowed to give you my email address? And she said, no, but I can memorize it.
All right, listen. First of all, Dallo wants to know if the girl cried because you gave her a tip. And Steve K is tapping out. So, Steve, you take it easy. Good night. Thanks for joining me, as always. I'm sure we'll talk again soon. But Chuck, he wants to know if you gave her the tip and made her cry.
I didn't tip her.
You didn't give her the tip?
No.
Chuck,
I just
how did prostitution work in North Korea? How much for the girls? That's what Patia Bob wants to know. He wants to know the important stuff. Get right down to the nitty gritty.
Well, I think one of the important things is that, and you can read this in the book North Korea Confidential too, is I asked my tour guide, I said, why? There was these plaques on people's houses above the door. And it looked like a car license plate, but it didn't have any writing.
See you later now.
And it was red. And I said, so what are those plaques for? And she said, that means you can take a girl or take a guy and you can rent a room by the hour. And maybe 40% of the houses had those on their above.
And how you didn't find out how much this stuff cost?
Oh no, let me finish. So
we're running out of time.
You just you have to find a girl and then you take them into that place.
Yeah, I understand that. That's how it usually works.
Yeah.
You find the girl you like, you take her, you do your thing. But I'm asking for the people out there watching, what kind of price?
I asked my tour guide how much, and she said sometimes it's just a few cigarettes, sometimes it's a dinner, and if she's really good looking, it depends on how good looking the guy is, And I said, what percentage of women are willing to do this? And she said, well, if it's a lot, if it's $100, probably 98%.
Wow.
She goes, you got to convince the woman to do it. That's what she said.
Interesting. I will tell you this. There is a place, I don't remember the name of the place or anything like that, but there is a place it's included in the beer. She comes with the beer. There is a place in Africa where you go to their village, and then one of the people in the village offers up his wife for the night to have sex with you. It's as part of their culture, which I found to be slightly strange, but it is something that does really happen. So kind of interesting. That's what makes the world so interesting, Chucky. We're all different.
That's right.
You know?
So why
we all are.
Why exclude going to North Korea? You know, I know what it's like now.
Okay.
You know.
Well,
and when the regime does fall, I will have had a comparison to the old North Korea, and when I go back in the future to the new North Korea, which for me will just be wonderful to see the difference.
I'd politely say no, wifey. What happens if you give her a good stupping like she's never had before, and she decides she wants to leave with you? Are you obligated to take her with you from Africa? You know, if you, you know what I mean? You give it to her really good, and she is like, oh my God, I can't let this guy go. She's like, my husband, I think I want to go back to America. And you're like, I wonder if that ever happens.
I'm sure they do.
Anyway, Gennaro wants to know how the food was in North Korea, Chucky.
It was really good, and they sell dog meat as a side dish, but very expensive. $30 for a little plate this big.
You know where I thought
exactly
the food,
huh?
You know where I thought the food was really good, and I was very surprised? Russia.
Yeah, I love Russian food. Oh my God,
man, I was so shocked.
And were you shocked by how good looking those Russian women were? The most beautiful I ever saw in any country.
No, I wasn't shocked because I know they are pretty freaking hot. I mean, and I did talk about this where I was in a mall. I just wanted to get away because it was minus 10 degrees in Yekaterinburg, and I was stuck in the hotel, and so I took a shuttle bus to the mall. And I go in there and I'm walking around, and I didn't really know what I wanted or anything. I just thought I think I bought a pair of shorts or a pair of long pants, and I bought some socks and I bought a few other things just to buy it and see how much everything costs and all that. And then I thought, I got to get something to eat, so I got a little bite to eat and it was good. And then I thought, now I could go for a coffee, and I saw these two girls standing there and they were gorgeous. And I started talking to them, and I said, what's the deal? Can I get an espresso? And she goes, oh, well, we're trying to sell the bags of the beans. And I said, oh, I don't really want a whole bag. She goes, you know what? We give you a sample. So they gave me an espresso. It was like a sample to supposedly whet my appetite to try to buy, for them to sell me a bag of their espresso. And I didn't buy it, and they didn't care. They were just like, And I got about, 2 minutes of where do you come from? Why are you here? And then they were back to work and I was gone. But I was like, man, they were stunning. I mean, they were good looking girls. The Russians have a lot of good looking girls,
It's really shocking.
It wasn't shocking to me. I knew, kind of knew.
To me, it was because it's just the quantity. I have a straight friend and he likes a country. All he thinks about is girls all the time. And
yeah, you were saying.
He considers a country based on if you're in a public place, how many hotties you're going to see in a 30-minute period. So example, when he likes Russians, but he likes Asians, he likes Brazilians, he likes many. And he says, when I'm in Thailand, I see one every 30 seconds. When I go to Omaha,
where you are,
I see one every month. It depends
on where you are.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're walking around a village, you're not going to see one every 30 seconds.
And that's what he counts as being a great place to be. Yeah. And when I was there, even though I'm not straight, I felt like I saw a hot Russian woman every 30 seconds when I was in St. Petersburg and Moscow. I was like, wow. And
Yeah, I went to Moscow, and we met these guys who we actually went to the gym and trained in the gym there, and then afterwards we went to a restaurant, and the restaurant was closed, but because of this guy and who he was, and he had, I mean, you're talking about, he had guys. I don't know if you know who he is, but he's like his name is Fedor Emelianenko Fedor, who is a MMA fighter. He's one of the greatest MMA fighters ever. But he's a big dude. And these guys, some of these guys, I was like, holy shit. They're like 260, 270 pounds, all muscle, 6'5". And I'm like, son of a bitch. And he had like four of them around, just, standing around. And we're eating our meal. And I mean, it was like, we didn't have to order. With him, we didn't have to order. Everything was just given to us, and we just ate it, and it was fantastic. But when I was in Yekaterinburg, in that place, we just went downstairs into the hotel restaurant, and they had our food waiting for us, and that was the best borscht. They had borscht there, the soup, right? It was I ate it and I went, holy shit, I didn't know the food would be that good here. And everything I ate was top notch. I was like, son of a bitch, man. I was so surprised. I wasn't surprised about the women, but I was surprised about the food, because I had always thought that the food would be not very good,
You remember the guy that interrogated me when I went to Israel because I had an Iran visa, and he asked about.
Yeah, I don't remember the guy, but I remember you saying something about it earlier.
Yeah, and he said, "Do you really you date those? Do they have sisters?" So I gave him my contact information, and I met him in Thailand. And he goes all the time now.
You turned him into a bad boy.
Yeah, and he's like, wow, this is amazing. And this guy wasn't old; he was young, but he wasn't exposed to very many Asians, and he loved Asians, and he was just like, he really loves Asians like so much, and there's only a few in Israel. I mean, not many. So
yeah, I'm a firm believer that there are beautiful women everywhere. It's a matter of how approachable they are, how they think about themselves, how they carry themselves. Are they genuinely friendly? I mean, there's so many things that's why I think there's beautiful women all over the place. That's why you can come to Thailand. I've said it many times before. You can come to Thailand for the women, but they're not going to keep you here.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I think a lot of people come for the women, and they just end up getting bored and hating Thailand.
Maybe, I mean, a
lot of men come to Thailand and they get trapped in Thailand.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that are trapped in Thailand.
Yeah.
Because maybe they just get Social Security, and like I have a friend that he used to be a priest, and he quit, so he only gets $600 a month from Social Security and lives on that. But it's really okay because he loves Thailand. I mean, he is really in love with the country. But he's trapped financially. He can't move back to the USA because he can't.
Well, I know a lot of people like that. I mean, listen, it wouldn't be easy for me and our family to move back, but we could do it. But Jesus Christ, I mean, like for me, it'd be like culture shock. Mm-hmm. I mean, because and I say it more often now, but like I've forgotten a lot of things, and I mean, so many things. Think about it's just like. Now with the COVID and everybody's kind of locked down or has been locked down or whatever. And it's like you pop out of a rabbit hole and all of a sudden you're like, whoa, you get out of the dark hole and you're like, wow, I forget what light is like, And
do any of your sons ever talk about immigrating to the USA? Because so many times.
Yeah, of course. We've talked about it.
Personally,
yes, but right now,
you think either of them could or would?
Well, they could.
Yeah, of course.
But right now is not a great time, and I want them to get their education here. First of all, because it's cheaper. Second of all, because if they go to the right school, it's transferable. And third of all, because they're comfortable here. They're, this is where they were born and raised. And, then if they want to go over there, they can, but,
So what
we'll
will
see.
happen if both of your sons want to go there? Are you and your wife going to go with them, or are you going to just stay?
I don't know. Haven't thought about that. But I mean, I'm not going to go following them around. You know what I mean? Like, they have their own lives.
Of course.
They're allowed to have their own lives, Right now, not really. They're not, because they're relying on us. But, that will change eventually. I mean, Alex is he'll be a junior in a few months. I can't believe it. It's like, he's halfway through college, through university. So our plans were to spend 3 months at a time in Thailand twice a year, but that's all out the window now. For now, it is. Come without her, Dalo. After that, I'm sure you'll be free to come all the time. Yeah, she'll be like, she's gone.
Hey, Scott.
Go ahead. Go there all alone.
Can I make a comment that is just purely my opinion about Thailand opening up?
Go ahead. But we got 3 minutes left.
Oh, okay. I think that Thailand will eventually end up opening up in October, even though everyone's not completely vaccinated, because I just think because of the momentum, there's just going to be too much pressure to do it, and they're going to compromise. Like, things kind of come together. Like, we need the economy to open up. We've made progress with vaccinations. We really should open up when we're this close to our goals, but because of this, we just got to move into it. So yeah. I think Thailand will open up in the fourth quarter.
Hi, Carlos. I agree. I have
evidence,
no social skills anymore. My opening line is now, how much short time? LOL. I would say that for me, it's not so much about the social skills, although I do feel out of place. And I have felt out of place when I was in the United States and in other countries. Sometimes I feel out of place because I just am very comfortable here. But it's about things like culture, music, art, TV shows, laws, and politics. I'm just not up on everything anymore. I don't, it's not like when you're in high school, whatever, your friends are telling you everything. You're learning all this from here. You're getting this, you're getting that. And, you just have constant information coming in. Now, the only thing that I can do is I can look online, or I can listen to my kids sometimes. And I do, learn some new things. But for the most part, like I've said, I don't really care about what's going on in America aside from, is everybody safe? You know
a lot about what's going on in America, though.
I know, because people are freaking telling me all the time. And then I look once in a while online, and so I know what I need to know.
Mm-hmm.
But there are times when I just shut down and I don't look for a couple of days. I don't look at any news, and I like that. So anyway, closing thoughts, Chuck. 30 seconds.
Just that I'm so happy to have a friend like Scott, because he's a very nice guy.
Well, thank you. Right back at you. Oh, God. Spending 12 months in a war zone was more fun than the COVID era. There you go. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. I appreciate it. Make sure you smash that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Use the code cheddar, as in cheddar cheese with no R. Get 20% off of your merch. I love
the coffee mugs.
Yeah, get the coffee mugs. There's all kinds of ways you can help support the channel. They're all down in the description. That's all I have. Thank you to everybody. Thank you, Dowlow, last minute at the buzzer. Choke D. Chucky, as always, thank you for allowing me to give you shit. The banter is quite spirited, and I like it. So, yes, thank you. Carlos, Gennaro, Longhorns, everybody else there, Dowlow, yada, yada, yada. That's all I have. And until next time, I'm Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok. Choke D, Jerkin my, Petia Bob, thank you. Choke D, Jerkin my, Jerkin Gennaro. All right, Chucky, I'll talk to you later, okay?
Bye-bye.
All right, man.